You look great. You need your fez hat. Where's your fez hat?
We don't know.
What?
Oh.
It will never be.
He lost his hat.
See, the best part is now we are talking to Vestamon, so when he fucks up, and that's Vestamon fucking up.
That's Vestamon fucking up. Oh damn, it's Vestamon! Hide your bitches. Hide your bitches.
Oh my god.
Hide your bitches.
Hide your bitches. And hello, bitches.
Other bitches.
I think that just became like that's gotta be a sound clip for you.
Hide your bitches. Clip that, please. I want that.
I take it that means we're live.
Yes.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Loaded Jokers.
Are we loaded? That's us. How loaded are we?
Where the comedy never stops.
Are we loaded with jokes?
Stop.
Um,
Not with you.
Oh, damn! I got a lot of ones. Spicy.
keep that in mind. You got them out of the way?
No, they're coming in later.
Okay. So, let's see. How do we want to do this? When last we left our adventurers, let's see. We started off, I believe, once again at the Temple of Resolve. Transportation or teleportation services, rather, were discussed with Mushka from the Temple of Resolve. You were told that the place that you desired to go to most directly was anticipating in the near future siege and preparing for war, and the city had currently been warded. So teleportation to the city of Suzail in the Kingdom of Cormyr was possible, but there would be lots of governmental red tape and things that you had to do that would cost just an obscene amount of money. So you were offered 3 other places that were nearby, within a day or a half day's travel. The Emerald Sanctuary, and there was a permanent teleportation circle there that was quite ancient, but hadn't in Mushka's lifetime been used to his knowledge. Very little was known about the Emerald Sanctuary. Twillen Gap, where it was said there was a clan of dwarves were known to live that did a fair amount of trade in exotic meats and furs with the people of Suzail. And then one other larger metropolitan area on the coastline of the Sea of Fallen Stars, a city just about a full day's travel away from Suzail, Marzimber, also known as the City of Spices. Careful negotiation, bought you a reasonable price for those teleportation circles to get what would otherwise take you months of travel over land and over the Sea of Fallen Stars to get you, hopefully, to your destination long before Pip arrives in Suzail in his new charge and in his new position. You gave up 2 horses and a carriage, and you began a new leg of your journey by entering the city with magnificent flair. Jack Ryder doing a backflip across the teleportation circle as Misty Eye stepped through and undid the quick release on her armor to stand in the city, to stand just off the side of the city square, butt naked, while everyone else came through. You, after a quick scan of your surroundings, made your way to the Roaring Griffin Inn, where you secured rooms, and Misty Eye set out securing herself a spot on a stage for this night's dinner. See if she could be this night's entertainment. The rest of the party making their way to a local billboard, as it were, where locals posted their job wantings and notices of upcoming festivals. You find yourself having arrived at the beginning of a week-long festival known as the Breaking, as the ice is finally officially broken in the ports of Marzimber, and life can return to normal. You did find a job. You did find a couple of postings for jobs that piqued your interest. There were several jobs that seemed a little too mundane: dock workers, lumberyard, but two in particular. Information leading to the capture of whoever had been desecrating the crypts and cellars of Marzimber, and then another one, a job guarding those same cellars. Went to followed the address after speaking to a couple of the locals, made your way to the address on these job postings, and found yourself what looked to be Marzimber's jails, where you met a very, very overworked Eli Bannerin, the seemed to be in charge of the local law enforcement. He told you of his people who were undertrained, had a hard time keeping them on task, and he was terribly, terribly undermanned. You, after again some more negotiation, secured yourselves the position of guards for the crypts, and you agreed to take on the investigation of finding out who could have possibly been robbing these crypts. You were talking. You spoke with Eli at length. Ember, finding out that, what were their names? Maybe the names of a few, several people who could possibly be suspect, but Eli did not have very much information to go on. He bid you good evening. You agreed to meet with him the next day so that he could take you to the cellars of Marzimber. You arrive back at the Roaring Griffin Inn just in time for dinner, where Erin, the hostess, the maitre d', as it were, takes you to the 120-person dining hall, the massive dining hall of the Roaring Griffin Inn, where crowds of people are anxiously awaiting a new creation from this renowned chef. As they begin, you see for the first time Chef Raphael. As he comes and explains the 6-course dinner that you will be having this evening, and a new creation for your main course, Misty-Eyed Jack, and a recently strangely polymorphed or disguised Vestamon as a beautiful blonde woman.
Betty.
Having learned new dance moves, begin their show as dinner is served. The first few courses amaze and delight. And Chef Raphael brings out his latest creation, the calzone, which delights everyone there. This crust stuffed with cheese and tomato sauce and fresh sausage that he personally made himself. And diners are beginning to delight and amaze. A clamor from the front, near the front of the inn. Bodies fly into the dining hall. And creatures, unlike any you have seen before, that look strangely like the calzones that you had in your hands at the moment, but 6.5, 7 feet tall, come lumbering in and slamming guests left and right out of their chairs. A fight ensues. Cheese tomato sauce and meat spilled across the dining room floor. The guests flee in terror. Armaeus, as he takes one large cheesy bite, is able to ascertain that these are, in fact, baked Italian goods. Shots ring out and fired, arrows thrown, whips slashing, tomato sauce spraying against the ceiling. The last calzone. Vestamon rams his hand into its gaping cheesy maw, and a ray of frost turns it into ice. And you find yourselves alone with Chef Raphael. Questions are asked of him, and you decide that this is perhaps an attempt on his life, and you agree to, or you actually are very persuasive with Chef Raphael, and have him go and hide in your rooms, and he offers you the use of his apartments on the 3rd floor of the Roaring Griffin Inn. And as you said, with great confidence, you will be able to come back as a great artist. When people learn that you're back from the dead, you agree to get him to play dead until you can get to the bottom of this cheesy nightmare.
We also found some of his family's artifacts in the calzone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed you did. Yes, there was the investigation of this tomatoey, greasy mess on the floor did turn up a few artifacts that seemed to belong to his family, the same family of whom the crypts of Marzimber, the bodies had gone missing, and items in those self-same crypts. So here we are. It was after dinner hours. There were still supposed to be 2 seatings for the night. You find yourself in a very empty Roaring Griffin Inn. Mystios quickly disguised the Raphael with the Chungus ring to escort him to your rooms to lock him away, taking the ring off of him. You meet back downstairs. You find yourself alone in the front foyer, in between the bar and the dining room. What would you like to do?
Don't forget,
Saltia is gonna walk back in completely naked with her armor in her hands and
yeah,
money in her hands as well. I made my money, guys!
Good for you. Do you want to get clothes for a moment?
Yeah, so I hand you the money real fast so I can put my clothes on.
Is this just an inside out?
No, I need that back, Ivan.
Oh shit.
I'm just putting my clothes on.
I thought you were being nice.
Is this one?
I take a look at one of the dead body of the calzones and just go, is this an inside out pizza?
You already know, Raphael.
I think it's more of like a folded over pizza. I'll take her.
Get
we
back.
don't know about pizza. He's a minute pizza.
Oh.
That's gonna be his
Oh.
next big dish. How
Well,
did you find out? You
do
must
we-
have heard.
do we wish to continue our investigation to,
Real quickly, you would have heard this last week if you were here, but one of the reasons that Chef Raphael is so upset about going into hiding is because next week he was to, within the next week or two, he was to unveil his latest invention, a pizza.
Oh, gotcha. This looks like this should be not inside out.
well, now that this has happened, Raphael is safe. We could continue to the, what the fuck is that place called? The Barrelstone Inn, that was the rival chef of Raphael. We agreed that he was probably the most likely to want him dead.
Yes. And we should probably go bearing the news that the chef has passed.
Correct. You are much smarter than I.
But chefs are natural pacifists.
Maybe not in this town. We've only been here a day, and these people seem to be at each other's throats.
It was a joke.
Aye.
Chefs are horrible.
That's why they have so many sharp objects around them.
So do we want to go to Barrelstone?
Yes, you think that is. I'll defer to you and Ember, since she's already done some investigation. So, you know, what do you think, Ember? You want to go there? And are you going to be the one to announce that the chef is dead?
Oh, no.
I can announce it. Everyone's still in the street for the festival.
Everyone pays attention to you because you're naked.
Where is
I'm not naked currently.
Get naked. They'll pay attention.
Okay, give me a body to go throw out in the street
Hold
and
on.
scream.
Where is Erin? The hostess?
She's not around you right now.
Perhaps we should tell the staff Raphael has fallen.
Well, are we
They-
gonna present a body for them to see?
We can
I point
choose
one
one
of
of
the
the
calzones.
chored corpses.
Well, there's a bunch of burnt civilians right there.
Correct, and we happen to have a very heavily charred and mangled body with a body of a calzone. So this was the plan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The
Tell the staff there's a ratatouille on the floor there.
aye.
You know.
First thing, we need to find out where the fuck this place is. We know where the crypt is, but we do not know where Barrelstone is.
We're trying to follow signs.
Yeah, it's probably right around here somewhere. Can't be that far.
Those of you who can see in the dark, perhaps you should lead the way.
Okay.
So we will, I guess, make our way
Or
north.
they,
Would I have seen the barrel stone on my naked adventure through with the parade?
No.
are there any torches lit with street lights?
Yes, there are torches lit throughout the streets. There are the streets are kind of buzzing right now as you peek out the front door. There is a small crowd gathered across the street. Actually, make another quick perception check real quick.
Where are you, 20?
He's looking out. Yeah, roll your 20. Make a perception check.
There's some lift on that one.
13.
13. Yeah, there's actually there's a group of diners who had just previously you had just seen them inside the Roaring Griffin, and they're gathering up. They're trying to get they've gotten the attention of some of the guards that you saw earlier in the green and blue with the red sashes. The city guards as they're pointing back towards the Roaring Griffin.
No doubt they're coming to check out the commotion. Aye. So we should hurry. We should go ahead and get out and get across the street at least. Is that Zoidberg?
Oh, so Ember's bugging out.
Yeah. I don't need that kind of attention.
Hey, where's your friend?
Lily? She should be around.
She's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you didn't lose her.
Always next to me.
I mean, you
She's
go
all-
middle on
yep.
us if you did.
So I've been filming it. I want to ask you, what's up with the jewels and why is that significant right now?
So can we have? I'm assuming we're
So
having.
you guys
as
quickly exit. Then as you make your way out of the Roaring Griffin Inn and into the streets of Marzember, you can hear the sounds of laughter and music. The festival, beginning to the breaking beginning to kind of gear up a little bit. You see some nighttime street performers doing dances with silks and people peddling foods and beverage in the streets. Across the street, across the wide street here, you do notice the crowd of diners gathered with 3 guards, and one of them looks up as you're exiting, and they kind of get distracted again by the diners that you had seen before.
Very good.
As you exit, which way would you like to go as you exit?
Do we happen to see another crowd of people waiting to get
Real
us?
quickly, the direction that you the direction that you came from before, or the direction that you went before, when you went to the I was kind of reading off the places that you had seen, and in that direction, towards that Bayside Street, 42 Bayside Canal Street, where the sheriff's was, you did not see that particular inn or tavern in that direction.
All right. Well, we didn't see it in that direction, so let's continue.
Well, stop one of the people on the street and see if they know where it is.
That's an idea. We can always go back to Eli.
The locals know where it is.
Why didn't we have a question about one of the men in the? We did about the man in the jail. He was one of the people who practiced magic that Eli was curious about. So we will head back to Eli and get directions.
Eli also dismissed us for tomorrow.
True, but he said he would be there.
Alright.
Yeah,
Working late. He said he'd be there working late. Remember? And he was just swamped with paperwork, so he'll be there probably.
It's worth a shot. If he's not there,
Yeah, that was only like an hour and a half ago in game time.
Okay.
We can also tell him what happened and its correlation.
Correct.
It does seem.
Hey, don't tell him that Raphael is alive, because we don't know this guy. He could be
We don't know if
crooked
he's still
too.
a suspect or not.
Correct. Raphael is dead.
Yeah, as far as we know. He's burned up with the calzone.
So,
Raphael died?
aye.
That's what we're saying.
It was crazy. A fucking calzone grabbed him and held him up, and then it ate him, and then
I was there for that. He didn't die then. Who killed him?
Raphael was eaten by a calzone.
And then we killed the calzone.
He was eaten by a calzone.
But I think he may have not been eaten by a calzone.
He was killed by a calzone.
Yeah, it's magic.
And it
Probably not the first. He probably won't.
he
consumed
was a
his
very
body.
cute, short
So
man.
it's over his body. So that's why we say he was eaten by the calzone. Instead of him eating the calzone ate him.
But what if he became
That's like massive heartburn.
But I saw Vestamon kill the calzone,
No.
and then
No.
I walked out.
No,
When
remember-
did he die? When I
Hey,
walked out.
No.
To
I'm gonna go up
perform?
to her and just slap her on
Hey,
her forehead.
Hey,
She's like, no.
hey, I banished one, and he came back and jumped on right there. You were out there all naked showing your little buttocks. So,
I mean, you're not wrong.
You didn't see that part, my dear. You were too busy showing your glory
So,
to the world.
in real quick, as we're walking, I take a look around. Is anybody listening to the conversation?
Make a perception check.
13.
13. Doesn't look as if anybody's listening, but it does look as though somebody may be following you.
Mistios.
Yeah, it's going.
I think we're being followed. We're going to continue the pace. I think we're being followed. When we make a turn here on Bayside Canal Street, I want you to take a look and see if you can see who they are and what they're carrying.
What do they look like? There's a ton of people in here.
What do they look like? Or was that enough to get a description?
It's a guy kind of stooped, looks to be a youngish elf. His clothes are incredibly shabby. As he's kind of darting in and out. He's keeping pace with you. And he's like been moving. When you cross the street, he crossed the street as well. So, other than that, he looks like he's keeping pace with you, but in the time that you've started looking at him, he hasn't looked at you once.
So listen, the whole deal with the cheesy bread monsters, we attacked them. Correction, they attacked us. We defended ourselves and we got the fuck out.
Okay.
I don't think anybody wants calzone monsters around anyways. I think the crowd would be, or the public would be okay with us killing calzone monsters.
Correct, but don't let this thing know that we know that he's following us, okay?
Okay.
And we're just gonna
Yeah,
keep
this-
heading towards Canal Street.
This person following us could be probably one of the bad guys wanting to see what we're doing. And, you know, what our motivation is.
So tell me about this guy.
There's a shabby-looking elf that appears to be keeping pace with you as you're making your way back to. You said you wanted to go back to the jails.
Yeah, to Sheriff Eli.
Go talk to Mr. Bannerin.
Mm-hmm. Back to Eli, but periodically just kind of glancing.
So do you want me to lay back? Do you want me to lay back and follow him, following us?
I'm thinking if you can see something to quickly dip into, maybe walk up behind him.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
We could also try turning the corner of an alleyway. He'll follow.
God, you're fucking smart. And I start looking for an alleyway.
Without issue, you find one. There's a couple of buildings. You're about a block away from you turn to go over the bridge of the canal to get up to the sheriff's. There's a couple of buildings where it's actually a very narrow alley. It's just wide enough for like a person to get through without your size to get through without scraping your shoulders.
Now? Now?
Turn into it?
What?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Oh yes, sorry,
Yeah.
we're fuddling each other over
I
here.
kind of thought we were already doing this.
I guess dip in.
As you duck into the alley one by one, and you're just ducking in and stopping, or are you gonna keep
Does it
going?
appear like there's anything to hide behind?
No, it's a narrow. There's a couple of bags of what looks to be
Would it be,
refuse or something, a few piles of debris that you have to step over as you get, but nothing like really to hide behind. You can see. I mean, it's still there's like the lingering bits of daylight, and you can see the canal at the other side, the other end of it, and there does look up here to be space at the far end.
What does the walls look like?
They're stone and brick buildings.
I want to climb the wall. About maybe like 10 feet up.
10 feet up? Okay, so you able to easily just put a hand and foot on each wall and you get up. It's about 18 feet up to where you get to the roof line, so you're more than halfway up this alley now, as the rest of you are. What do you want to do?
I guess we're gonna move a few feet in, and
I will wait here if he shows up.
I'll minor illusion a wall right in front of us.
Okay.
Damn.
All right.
So it looks like we're stuck.
So it looks like
So
he'll walk in and it looks like a dead end, but we're right like within feet of him.
okay.
Did you want me to jump down and be like, the fuck?
Yeah, you can jump down and grab him if you want.
Oh.
We want to make him stop in confusion for a second.
Okay. So as you minor illusion, the wall appears in front of you. You can hear the sounds. Footsteps walk up and stop for a second. And as they begin to walk away.
Let's follow
Okay.
him.
Alright, then I drop.
Oh, back by.
And then I want to start following him.
Okay.
The old switcheroo.
Hey, let's follow him.
I think we let the road do
Can I
its
tackle
thing,
him?
maybe.
Or da, yes.
Wait, I can tackle him?
Not yet.
Maybe the rogue can follow him and
That's-
find out some of his other companions. and
Correct.
stuff.
That's
So that's the best thing to do. We just
This is why we
hope
have
that
him.
rogue don't get in trouble like he normally does.
We'll give him 30 seconds and then follow after.
Okay. So you wait 30 seconds. The minor illusion comes down, and you make your way back out to the street just in time to see. You poke your head around the corner to see that same shabbily dressed elf go past the street where you turn to go over the bridge, over the canal towards the sheriff, and you see him duck into an alley on the far side.
Let's just keep walking.
Like, I'm still following.
Let's just do like you did with us and just keep walking.
He might not notice one of us missing.
But
if we continue walking.
it's about 150 feet up. You see him. He's crossed the street again. He's ducked an alley, going away from the canals in the sheriff's office.
Quick, before we make it to the alley, do we keep walking or do we turn down there?
I want to walk down it.
Well, I think we ought to just let him go
Yeah.
follow him. We should go to the jail and tell the high sheriff what's going on.
Oh, we have more than one rogue, don't we? You said you have stealth
I'll go
skills?
with Mistius.
Yeah, we shouldn't leave him alone.
Well,
Okay.
let's do it.
Last time we
let's
left
not
him
leave them
alone, he
both
got
alone.
captured.
Let's not leave them both alone. Let's stay.
Well,
let's
we're-
stay back a little bit. Let them do their thing.
Right. We're gonna stay 50 feet back or so.
Okay.
Okay, so it's Mistios and not Misty Eye.
And Salty Eye. You keep saying Misty.
Salty Eye. Salty Eye.
Bird eye.
Make their way, like suddenly disappearing into the the crowd along the streets. It's like they begin darting person to person. Make your stealth checks.
Oh man, I wish I was good at those.
Uh-oh. 6.
21.
21. Mistios just seems to disappear into the crowd. Salty Eye is making her way through the crowd, and she turns one time to look back at her companions and gives a little wave and turns around and smacks into somebody. She's like, ah! And is able to sidestep. Not quite as inconspicuous, but she's drawn up. But she actually, by drawing attention to yourself, you're actually able to make it easier for Mistios to make his way up to the front of the alley. You stop for a moment and you peer in after. You make your perception check.
That is a 15.
15?
Yeah.
You see the side profile of this elf now. As he's standing at the far end of the alley as he pulls out a rolled piece of paper and hands it to somebody who's standing just beyond the edge.
I'm gonna whisper to him, can I tackle him?
You do it.
He's all the way at the other end of this alley now. Okay, and with that perception check, with that perception check, when he hands over the pieces of paper, you see somebody else handing off a few coins.
Okay, I'm going to pull my armor string, and walk down the alley. You boys looking for some fun?
Never fails.
So you just whip off all your armor and just walk down this.
Like a hooker, yeah.
Like a hooker. Duh. So as she's doing that, I'm gonna climb. I'm gonna climb up the side of this building, not like in the alleyway, but like on the front face. I guess.
Front face of the building.
Okay, why not?
Yeah, do your athletics check.
Salty Eye's also going to act very drunk.
Okay.
Destamon, I must say, your hair looks very good today.
Make a. If you're going to act
Yeah,
drunk,
I got
make a
the baby
performance
boots
check
in
with
it.
advantage because you know what it's like to be drunk.
12.
12 to get up the front of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was only a 10. So I
Okay.
mean to say
23.
23. So very convincingly drunk. You were able to slur your way down. You were as you walk down, you see as you're walking down the alley and very convincingly drunk, you see the hand back behind the building, and as the elf turns to you. 10. Right. Well, yes, I am. I'm always looking for a good time. You got anything to drink? Don't suppose, you haven't any pockets.
She's got one pocket.
Two if you're brave.
I can get you a drink if you want a drink.
I love a drink. Perhaps I could just get high on your breath. Come, yes, with me. And he approaches you.
How far am I to Mistius?
Mistios climbed up the front of the building. He's made it to the top of this flat-roofed building.
I was gonna say because I want to be like overwatching, like the.
Okay, so you're like looking over the side. Okay, you see this shabby elf. He looks as he comes walking down the alleyway towards you. He's kind of smelly. He's like his clothes look cheap and tattered and worn, and he smells like he could probably do with a fucking dunk in the shitty canal because he smells pretty bad.
Okay, she looks at him, But where'd your friend go?
Haven't got any of those. You're my only one.
Oh, honey, I'm not your friend.
But I have coin.
Kid, how much coin do you have?
35 silver.
That can buy you a drink. What about me?
It's all I have. I just got paid.
35 silver to do what?
Never mind. Have a good night. And he tries to like walk down the hall. He just flattens himself out and like tries to get around you in the alleyway.
I'm gonna jump down and land on top of him.
I'm gonna snap as he does that.
Okay, so
Like as soon as I see him starting to move, I'm just gonna just jump down. So is there an aim for skills?
well, it would be a grapple attack, but if you're just jumping off the top of a to a 20-foot building.
Well, I'm trying to jump off and land on
top of him. Yeah, I'm just. You know what? You're not even gonna have to roll for that because it's like as you're able to like scoot yourself, you're close enough. You get over the top and he's trying to make his way up the alley. I mean, he's at complete disadvantage. He doesn't know you're there with your high stealth, so you just wham, and you're able to, and he tumbles to the ground under you. He does strike his chin pretty hard on the cobblestones in between this alley as he so you have him down on the ground. He's face down. He begins struggling, trying to get down the alley.
I'm gonna pull out my rapier and get really close to his face.
Your rapier's on the ground with your armor.
Oh, well, I'm going to get really close to his face and whisper down at him. Are you gonna tell me the information I want?
What information that you want? I told you I don't have any friends.
Who's the man that you were just handing the note off to?
We're just beating up an old man that doesn't have any friends.
That's what we do. Hammer and shielding.
Hammer and shielding.
I wasn't talking to nobody. I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw it happen. Now you're gonna tell me, or you're gonna regret this.
Make a persuasion check. Or excuse me, intimidation check.
14.
14?
Better listen.
Really?
I'm not doing well bad.
I'm completely naked.
Yeah, I was picturing somebody butt naked being like, tell me what I want to know.
Man, if I had a nickel for every time I've been in that situation.
You know, these things are loaded.
Make a strength check. See if you can hold him down.
Of course I can. 13?
13? Yes. He's able to flip himself over and with his freed right hand. What's your AC?
13. Well.
You take as he reaches out and he just bang and pokes you in the eye.
And then as soon as he does that, I'm just gonna strike him like right in the face with a punch.
Roll a hit.
That's a 19 plus.
19?
Yeah.
Okay. So wham! You just clock him in the jaw as his head rolls back, and like, where he rolled over, his chin had struck the cobblestones in this alley, where he was bleeding down his neck. All of a sudden, his cheek splits open, and fresh blood comes pouring out there too, and he begins screaming, "Help! Help! I've just gotten paid. They're trying to take my silver. Help!
I don't need your silver. I want information." I could pay you.
I'm just gonna try to shove my hand over his mouth, trying to get him to.
I'm gonna show him 2 gold pieces. I can give you 2 gold pieces right now if you tell me what I want here.
Now make a persuasion check.
Where'd you have those gold pieces hidden? Very interesting.
Her very velvety coin pouch.
I was thinking a prison pocket.
Persuasion, you said?
Seriously.
That
Sorry?
is a 25.
25? He immediately quits struggling and he's like,
Okay.
Are you going to yell again?
Let him talk now, Mistios. I think money talks to him.
okay, what do you want to know?
Who's the man that gave you the money?
He's the butler for the Ursamael. Wait, what the fuck? How do you pronounce her name again? Urmaisiel. It's the butler for the Urmaisiel house.
Why were you following us?
I wasn't following you. I don't know who you are.
And what did you hand off to him?
I had a feeling.
A recipe.
A recipe for what?
Disaster. I don't know. I don't read and write, chef.
Did it have pizza? Or does it have pizza on it?
Does it have calzone?
I don't know. I didn't read it. I was just asked to retrieve something, so I did.
Where
That's
did
what
you
I do.
retrieve it from?
From the chefs at the Roaring Griffin.
Okay. I take 3 gold pieces and I shove it in his mouth and tell Mistios,
Clanks up against his teeth.
let him go. Unless you have another question for him.
I ain't got shit. I get off of him. I hold him up and I just go, if you say anybody,
Anybody?
if we shut the fuck up, Zena.
Just imagine
And oh, what is your name?
Frank. My name? Yazin.
Okay, Yazim. Sorry about this. Didn't mean to hurt you. Just needed the information.
You sure have a funny way of asking. You know, you could try being more polite.
It's not my strong suit.
Maybe I could help you work on it over drinks sometime. Offer still stands. I don't have any friends.
I'm just gonna move. I'm just gonna grab him and be like, all right, out you go. Out you go.
Oh, if you see me at a tavern, come find me. I'll buy you a drink.
You'll catch something, I promise. As I push him back out on the streets.
From where you guys are standing across the street, on the other side, on the road that takes you over the canal, you see this elf come being kind of jettisoned from the alley, stumbling, and he tries to get some of the dignity back to him, and he wipes some of the blood from his cheek and his chin.
I think that.
And he looks at some people that are passing by and says, "This whole town's going to shit. You can't even go do a job without some hooligan trying to rough you up." And he takes it and he walks off down the street.
Salty walks out with her armor, putting her armor back on. Alright guys, I have some information.
Looks like you guys had your ways.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Ivan, that guy, his name's Yasin. Very sweet. He needs friends, but that's a different story. He was paid by the Urmaisiel house to retrieve a recipe from the Roaring Griffin.
That's Raphael's family.
Interesting.
So
Why would Raphael's family want the recipe brought to them
what do
in
you
all
want?
shady ways?
What do you want to bet that? Did you say who he was giving it to?
The recipe?
Yeah.
He gave it to
The house of
Raphael's
He gave it to him.
the butler.
The butler.
He said we gave it to the butler.
Yeah, the butler.
What do you want to
But
bet?
who did he steal it from? Who was the recipe from?
It's from the Roaring Griffin.
Okay.
So what do you want to bet that that butler is selling the recipes to the other chefs that are copying Raphael?
Can we track the butler?
I think we should go pay the butler a visit.
What's the ground like in the alleyway? If I look over at
Wait,
it.
did the guy poke my good eye or my bad eye?
You're good eye.
That asshole.
Hey, at least
No
he
more
didn't-
drinks
at least
for
he
him.
didn't- At least he didn't break the parrot.
I would have been upset.
So what does the ground look like in the alleyway?
It's kind of wet, but it's cobblestones. Sort of like our background. Yeah, that's what it looks like, you know. But there's a little bit of dirt into. Yes, if you looked just below me on stream,
Yeah.
that's what the streets look like.
Maybe we should go
Cobblestones.
ask Raphael. Why he's butler.
But he's dead.
Well, I'm not really the tracker here, but I think maybe we could trace footsteps, follow him.
Why don't we just go to the mansion and go to and ask for the butler?
Well-
the butler usually answers the door, doesn't he? And let's just
before,
put a knife to his throat and say, "Look, motherfucker, we're gonna cut your throat if you don't tell us what we want to know."
Wow.
I think we should
Say
go
it with
ask
me now.
Raphael.
Lawful good.
Cass already did it. That's awesome.
Oh,
But well, before we get sidetracked worrying about the recipe, that's what this is not what we're being paid to fix. Our problem right
I
now.
feel like it could be connected.
no,
we-
but
we don't know if the-
Ivan, stealing the recipe is part of this whole plan. Like there's the crypt, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
This is all some big master plan to undermine this.
I think we need to figure out if
Hold
the
on.
butler's involved in anything bad before we go putting a knife to his throat.
Is this
Correct.
recipe worth lots of money?
Well, the whole
Well,
town
it's
seems
a
to have
whole
a
brand
thing
new
over
invention. So
fighting for food. You could
I
say the
say
whole town is in a food
We go
fight.
to Raphael and ask him.
I mean, we could
Ask him
just
what?
take the recipe for
Ask him
ourselves.
if he knows about his butler retrieving
his
recipes.
family's butler. It's not necessarily his. It's his family's butler.
Correct.
True, but we can ask
He lives in
why.
an apartment away from his family.
But we can ask why his family would want the recipes.
And who in his kitchen is giving up the information?
Also, do we know if
Possibly
the
the
people
sous chef.
in the crypt that has been robbed, are they from any other families, or is it all majority this family?
I am curious to that myself. Plus, we did take the job to guard the crypt, but that's in the morning.
How about I can go ask
So
Raphael.
the graveyard shift
You
is
guys
in the
can
morning?
go to the
No, I
guard.
thought we were going to go to the crypt at night
Oh my
and watch
God.
it and make sure
It's on fire today.
bring it in.
We could. Actually, Vestamon brings up a very good idea. Vestamon brings up an awesome idea. If these perpetrators are actually breaking in and stealing shit, they're going to be doing it at nighttime. They're not going to do it in broad daylight with guards.
Yeah.
So we
That's when
could.
you mostly deal with your shady things.
You would know, Mistio.
I have an idea.
I can grave rob.
Since Raphael is dead, we can have a ceremony and bury jewels with him. And see if anyone tries to steal those jewels the next night.
Or
That's
someone
genius.
can just stay inside the coffin, then when they open it
But-
up,
but-
bang.
I'll be in the coffin.
But his family
Megan?
would be the one
Yeah.
to bury him, not us. We have no connection to him.
Correct.
So that it'd be his family that would bury him, and we wouldn't have nothing to do with
Guys, I say we set a
Well-
booby trap.
What is happening tonight?
I think that's a glorious plan, Ember.
Taking all your lines. you were going for far too long.
Yes.
Okay, so I think this should be the plan. We tell his family that Raphael is dead. We have the burial ceremony, and I'm in the coffin.
Okay, but aren't they going to want to see his body?
Well,
They
we can
wanna see
show
his
her the
body.
burnt body.
Oh,
They want to
Do
see
the
his
switcheroo.
body in
We
the
can do a
coffin.
switcheroo, and I'll be in the coffin, and I'll have. Well, we can say we have buried the jewels with his body, but I'll be in the coffin, and when the grave robbers open it, well, boom,
With the
booby
family
trap.
jewels.
Quite
I'm
literally.
telling you, let's go
Well-
and find out why this butler came
Well-
and picked up this
You
recipe.
know,
Let's-
why not both?
Let's cut to the chase.
Why
Yeah,
not both?
I
You wanna
agree.
do-
Let's
you wanna
just
do a
do
long,
both.
convoluted
Let's do
thing about
both.
a funeral
Yes.
and all this shit. I
Let's
say
do
we
it.
go
We
kick
could
ass and
also-
take names.
Well, let's go tell his family that he's dead, so then they can prepare.
We could also take one step back for just a moment. If the golems, or the golems, was that the word? The calzones. If the calzones were sent to kill him, then the deed is done. They have no need for more of the family jewels.
We don't know that.
Fair enough.
Did
Well,
any
we
of the
can also
cows?
ask the butler if
But
there's any more
there's-
cooks or recipes, perhaps.
So that's what I'm saying. They wanted the recipe.
So then we need to go back.
They paid somebody at that restaurant to give them the recipe to the butler there. Somebody from that family, from his own family.
Okay, well then why don't we do this? Why don't we make a pit stop back at the Roaring Griffin?
Okay.
We'll go talk to Raphael.
We could also disguise one of us to be one of his relatives to take over the restaurant.
I can also do that.
But you can't do that if you're in the, as a booby trap.
Don't worry.
But it
I
gives
have
them a
disguise
reason
kit.
to go back to the restaurant looking for
Yes.
more recipes.
Yeah.
But the
What
question,
race was Raphael?
Human.
Human. Okay,
Wow.
I can't.
That's gonna
Who
come out
we have a
good.
human here?
I can disguise myself as a human.
We can talk about it
You're
all
tall
day,
enough.
but we need some action. We're losing daylight.
Yeah, we're standing here
Let's go talk to Raphael
twiddle-dee and twiddle-do.
and get some more information, and then we can go from there.
By the way, I look around. Were we very loud? Did anyone notice us talking and plotting diabolically
Dude.
in the alleyway?
Roll for initiative.
Oh shit, he sat down.
There's as you're sitting here making all these plans and you're kind of going with the cycle. Well, I can be in the coffin, and no, we should just go over there and kick their ass and throw a knife to their throat and threaten them. Saltier goes, what? Or Ember says, what? And you all toss and turn, look back to the front of the alley, and there's a boy there. He looks like he's about 6 years old with a giant lollipop. He's just like,
It's Pip Jr.
I'm gonna toss him a gold coin.
Hey,
Just give
it's
little
our
boys
new
gold
Pip.
coins.
Grab him
While
up.
you're sitting here naked, just giving little boys
I
gold
put my
coins.
armor back on.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
let's go back to the Griffin. Guys.
I start walking.
Yeah, we start walking to the Griffin.
okay.
Go buy yourself some candy, little one.
I'm gonna try to take his lollipop.
Yeah, he's got coin to buy.
I'm
a
gonna
fresh-
smack Mistyos
He's
if
got
he tries to
he's
do
got
that.
coin. You just gave him enough coin to buy a year.
Yeah. You
Year's
basically just
worth
gave
of-
enough coin to buy.
Well, I
a
made a lot of money dancing in that parade, okay?
Cute, and I want a
You
lollipop.
should get love a lot. You could have probably
I
given
could buy you a lollipop,
five-
Mistyos.
five
Don't ruin
copper.
I
that.
That
want
would have been
kids.
enough. 5 copper would have been enough for candy for a month.
Ivan and our master.
I want to take the kid's lollipop.
Yeah, take it
Okay.
and stick it up your.
So, as the rest of you go marching back, and Ivan is like, "Come back to the Roaring Griffin," and you guys all storm past. Mistyos, the last one to make his way out, reaches down and snatches the lollipop out of the kid's hand, and
I don't even lick it. I just.
I hope you take damage.
That's fine.
Cavity.
no,
Poor
as
Pip
as
Jr.
right as your mouth, right as soon as your mouth hits it and you bite down on it, you realize the thing is just covered in fucking kid slobber, and so you get a nice big bite of kid spit in there with it. So
Cool.
And I'm gonna give the
Pop.
boy a gold coin.
I pop it out of my mouth. Just go up to him. Just do like just press it to his chest. And just like fucking gross, and just walk away.
A little bit of Tim coming out there.
He looks down at the lolly. It's a lollipop. Sits there, sticks to him for a second. He goes, bam! It hits the ground. He just looks up and goes,
I'm just gonna bulb.
And I give him the gold coin, and I'm just like, it's okay, don't worry, it's fine.
and he's got the gold coin in his hand as he and a big snot bubble.
And so,
When he goes off in the opposite direction.
and so Dad's just like, oh my god, no. Mistyos is an asshole.
Oh, you're realizing this now? Welcome to our group.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm gonna quickly run up with them.
Okay, I want to walk over and pick up the broken piece of lollipop off the ground and put it in my bag. I'll wash it off and eat it later.
Okay. Okay. Kid's gone. He ran off and was all snotty and crying. So.
With a gold coin.
Yeah. Yeah. As you guys make your way back through, and getting a few odd glances from here and there. It's people are kind of, the people are kind of like pointing and they're like watching you guys walk off through the crowd as the crowds close in behind you. And you make your way back again. Now, after all this, getting to be about 8 o'clock at night, you make your way back to the Roaring Griffin, and there's a huge crowd gathered in front of it. The law enforcement people that you saw across the street who had been talking are now up on the front, under up on the front like porch area and the entrance and the overhang of the door to the Roaring Griffin, and they're like, no, I don't care if you've had reservations or not. The place was attacked, and we've no sign of Raphael. So until we finish our investigation, you're gonna have to go find dinner somewhere else.
How far are we from all this?
There's like a crowd of it's like 4 rows back and a couple of other people around, and people are beginning to get upset. They're people who were supposed to be going for the second seating this evening are being turned away by the guards up front, and Aaron stands just behind them at the door.
I wave at Aaron. Aaron!
Hold on. This might be a little too hot to go talk to him if we're trying to convince people that he's dead. So,
we have to convince him that he's dead.
Well, get him off to the side.
Because it was a part of the deal. Vestamon, can you send him a message while he's safe in the room?
I can go up to the room.
To
It's our
Raphael?
own
Send
room.
Raphael a
I was gonna
message?
say, it's our
Yeah.
room.
And
Just
what
send
do you want me to
Raphael.
ask
It's
him when we come?
technically
Just make sure he's okay.
No, we need to find out what the deal with the butler is. You can ask him.
That's a lot of words. Why don't I just cast invisibility on myself and walk up there and ask him?
If you think you can do it, go for it.
Because there's too many words to ask him. Like, what about your butler? What is he doing? I can
don't
walk
I mean,
up there.
you can send back and forth messages. You just
It's
do
only
it in
25
But you
word
can only
increments.
send 25 words at a time. And then,
Whatever you want to do.
But each message, call, and respond is a spell slot.
Cool.
So, if you want to make someone invisible to walk up there, why not we use the sneaky one?
Who?
The sneaky one.
Oh, him?
Probably doesn't even need it.
Okay. All right.
Or I can
Well,
just
he's
tell
going-
Aaron I need to go to my room real fast and freshen up.
Are we
Seriously,
fighting over
it's-
talking to the chef?
No, because he's dead.
Oh, okay.
I just don't
Are we
think.
fighting over praying to the chef?
I just don't think
while
we
we're
should.
doing this,
I just
why
don't
don't
think
you
we should
pull-
be anywhere.
I'm just
near
gonna go ahead and start to go. I'm just be like, can I please go to my room?
I'm tired. Aaron, can I go up there?
why don't you get
We
Aaron to the
paid
side
money
and
for our
tell him?
reservation of the room.
Just tell him. Say, look, Raphael is dead. He's in that Mexicalazone and bones on the floor.
We don't know
It's
that.
like, oh, and as people are complaining louder and louder about their dinner, and a few of them, there seems to be some genuine concern about what's it's like, you hear a couple of women probably in their late 30s or so. It's like I've never missed one of Raphael's premieres before. He was truly a brilliant chef. And Aaron, as you begin gesturing towards her, Aaron spies you and says, we have some. She taps one of the guards on the shoulder and says, we have one here. We have some here that are guests of the inn. They're not just diners. They've already paid money for their rooms. And guard says, as long as we keep them out of the dining room, we still need to look into the bodies. And
I just don't
again,
want to be
gesturing
anywhere
you.
near all this shit.
Can
Okay.
I?
Let's just go to the room.
So simple. Just
Freshen up.
I
Can
go to
I-
my room.
I mean, is this feasible? I want to ask before I do it. I want to step up on the horse talking to my friends. I'm sorry, Raphael was killed, and just let the whole crowd know, so everybody know, the whole crowd will know. What do you think?
We don't want
I think we
people
should
to
just
know
tell
we're
the guard
there.
privately.
No, I think we got to tell the whole crowd so the word will spread faster.
Are you
What
going
do
to
you
bed
think?
after this? I'm just tired.
Or you just want to
I
like go
think-
to our rooms?
I think the
We could
police
talk-
should make the announcement to the
Yes, we
population,
should not,
us.
like-
That makes us look
All right,
like
that's what I was
potentially
telling
bad
you.
guys.
We'll tell Chester, whatever his name is.
And she beckons you forward, and the crowd begins to part, and they're like, and the crowd begins to part, and they make room for you to walk up the stairs.
I'm going with her.
Okay, so you go up, and Aaron opens the front door. And please,
Thank you.
and there's been such commotion this evening. We've never had anything like this before. If you would just, well, you've already been to your rooms. You know where they are up the stairs, and you see a couple more guards as you make your way in the front door, off in the dining area where the tables are overturned, and there are a couple of bodies scorched from diners, and the piles of cheese that have now begun, cheese and tomato sauce and crust that have begun to cool. As you make your way in, actually, both of you make a perception check as you're being ushered towards the stairs.
19.
9.
19, you spot Eli from the jails.
Guys, look. Eli.
It was just the three of you that went to the jails.
Those are the few guys that were with me at the jail. It's Eli.
Well, we could do 2 birds, 1 stone. Y'all go talk to our friend, and we'll talk to Eli.
Come on, let's go.
All right, I walk up to the room where we left Raphael.
Okay, so you're heading up to.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, it was Mistios's room that you left it in. So you guys head up to the room. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 that are going up to the room. 1, 2, 3. We're going to try to talk to Eli.
Captain Eli.
Okay. Okay. So you guys make your way up the stairs.
And then, is there any guards on either end of the hallway?
No, they are all concentrated around the dining area.
Okay.
Mistios, I think we kept the key with you know who, Chungus in there. Can you lock the door so we can get inside? Or do we have the key?
No, he has the key to his
Oh.
room, and he got his Chungus ring back. It was just a temporary disguise to make sure nobody saw him as he got upstairs. So it was why you transported from somewhere else.
Okay.
If he was Chungus, he could just break down the door if he wished.
All right. Let's go ahead inside.
Okay. So you guys open the door to the room, and what are you guys doing? Because as they've gone upstairs,
Is Eli like inundated with people? Is there tons of people talking to him? Is he busy?
he's standing. He has a stick in his hand, and he's sitting there poking around through all the cheese and everything, and the tomato sauce, and he takes and digs through some of the cheese and pulls up what looks to be Raphael's apron. He turns and looks. Ivan, Armaeus,
Hey.
what
Captain,
are you doing here?
probably the same thing as you. Looking for clues as to what's going on.
How in the hell did you get past the guards out front? I told them nobody took us to come in here.
We have rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
you certainly do have a knack for being in the right place at the right time.
We actually were coming to see you, so it's interesting that you are here.
Yeah, I've still got a ton of paperwork to do, and I've got to come over here. They say Raphael's missing, but it looks like we found him.
About that, a couple of questions about the job. First off, where is the Barrelstone Inn?
The Barrelstone Inn? It's about 4 blocks to the west. Or excuse me, yes, to the west.
Okay. Follow-up question. The families that are being robbed in the crypt, is it just the Irmaseals or is it another family?
There have been some other odd ones, but Hermiciels, they're the ones who've been hit the hardest. I mean, it stands to reason they're a very wealthy family, and so they're probably buried with more family treasures than anyone else, but that's what I always thought it was until body parts and bodies came up missing as well.
I have a question as well. Does it seem to have a tumbling effect? If a family's crypt is broken into, is suddenly the next day or the next week another member of the same family added to the crypt?
Why, no, that doesn't seem to be the case at all.
No?
No, just the ungodly theft of body parts,
And
bodies.
Nothing in relation between all these families? Not that they all have cooks in the family or anyone with a specific position of power, perhaps?
You're in Marzimber. Everybody's related to a cook.
Interesting. One second, and I gotta lean over to Ember. Do we want to let him in on things that we found? Maybe help in his investigation, or do we want to keep that to ourselves?
I think we should tell him.
I think you should use your gut instinct and go with that.
Captain, we've come across some things that make us think that this may be a bigger problem than grave robbing. You see, there were more than these calzones here. There was another one that we took care of outside the alley. I couldn't stop Armaeus from eating the body. He said it was quite delicious, and he's a growing man, you can see. But inside
I'm older than you.
Inside of the body, I just know that. Inside of the calzone, Armaeus was biting down, and his tooth hit something, and he found, and I'm gonna draw the ring with the dragon's crest head, or the dragon's head crest. We found this, and we learned that it belongs to the Irmaseals. Some of us have experience with things of magicalness. I'm trying to play at the intelligence thing. So
Brilliantly.
we know that these things can be used to create, what is it you called them?
Golems.
Golems.
Golds.
To attack the, well, really to follow the wishes of its creator. We think that this could be what's happening with these pieces. Do you think Raphael could have been targeted by someone of magicalness?
Well, I mean, it's not impossible.
We also just recently found out that real quick, taking a look around, just us or other?
There's two other people in the greens and blues of the guard.
Do they appear to be taking special interest in what I'm saying to Eli?
They are paying attention, but I mean, the same half-assed kind of way they were in the streets. They look incredibly lazy, or at least have the appearance of being lazy.
I can see why crime runs amok in this town.
Eli, 1 second, gentlemen. That calzone over there, I saw it move again. Will you go check on that for me, please?
Make a deception check, because I actually have been holding off on that, because you've kind of been full of shit this whole time.
I have. I've actually been waiting for it. 6. No, sorry, 7.
7?
Oh boy. Real game changer.
The three of them are the two guards and Eli. It's like Eli crosses his arms, and the two guards like look at you, look at him. He's like, "Hi, go help the lads out front. I want to see where this is going."
Eli. We don't know who we can. We don't know who we can trust with this. Forgive my feeble attempt at whatever the fuck that was. But Eli, we just recently had the two walked off.
As they walk by, and as they're exiting the area, one of them kicks the now cold and hard cheese on the floor. He's like eyeing you suspiciously as they exit. Eli's still standing there with his arms crossed.
Fair enough.
His body language is a little bit more closed off now.
That's fine. Just a moment ago, we intercepted a message from some elven man in shaggy clothing, and he was delivering a recipe to the butler of the Ermacil family. Can you think of any reason why this kind of shady activity would be happening, or perhaps this is why the cook at the Barrowstone is always copying Raphael?
A shabby elf, you say?
Correct.
Smells kind of odd.
Get his name.
I told you the name.
Yeah, you did. His name was Yazin.
Jazin. Yeah, he ends up in jail all the time.
Shady fellow?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if he's in jail all the time.
What is he usually in jail for?
Jail stuff.
Making a nuisance of himself, being drunk in the streets, picking the occasional pocket. You yourself was asking me about people that I thought might be weird or outcast. That guy's an outcast. I mean, he doesn't smell like he's had a bath in a year. Nobody really wants to be around him.
Is he ever dirty? Like he's been digging around and, I don't know, graves?
I mean, he's covered in filth constantly. And no one would ever be able to tell if he's been digging. I mean, did you see him? He looks like he sleeps in dung.
Well,
A good soaking in the outhouse might make him more appealing.
True.
Well, the concern that I have is that the butler, whoever it was from the Ermacil family, could be the one behind this attack.
So you're saying the butler did it?
I'm saying it's a possibility. Do you happen to know where the Ermacil estate is? Perhaps we can go talk to him. In relation to the current case, I don't mean to step on anyone's toes.
Do you mean to go talk to the Ermacils about the desecration of their own family's tombs?
Following a lead, you could say.
Well, right by the city's north gate, you'll find a sprawling estate just outside of the city walls proper. They have their own walled estate, so as to be part of, but separate from, the city itself. They're incredibly wealthy.
All right.
I wonder if they've had news of this yet. Perhaps you'll be the ones to tell them.
Perhaps if you would like us to.
It would probably be best if someone they knew delivered the news, but
How well do they know?
Well, this is business. Unfortunately, things have to be done. Sometimes you have to break some bad news to some people. I'm sure you've had to do it enough times, Eli. Being in your line of business.
yes, but I mean, people know me as I'm an authority figure. I mean, strangers show up on their doorstep in the middle of the night, telling them that their oldest son, the one who became a chef instead of following the family business.
Just tell
You know,
just make us newly hires for the meantime.
Well, you did technically hire us to
Exactly.
investigate.
It's only part of the job. How about a temporary badge?
No.
I think there's a word for that. They call it deputy.
Yes, I know. Deputy.
Deputy. 1 second, and he goes up to the front area where they were checking people in, and he exchanges a few words with Aaron, and produces a quill and ink and some paper, and he writes out a few short words and he asks for the spelling of your names, and then he takes one of the candles from the dining room and drips some wax on it and impresses his ring into it. And that is, all right, you have my seal as deputies, so.
Awesome.
I'll wear it with honor.
Eli, I suppose that's all the information we've scrounged up so far. I suppose we'll see you in the morning at the crypt, eh?
Yes, if you still need me there.
Well then we will leave you to it. Good luck in the investigation, and let us know if we can help somehow.
Okay, cool. And while they're talking that upstairs, you guys, while they're talking downstairs in the dining hall, you guys have opened the door, and
Did we get on the floor?
huh?
And did we do the dinosaur?
All of those things, yes, you did.
Wow. This is a weird thing.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so once everyone's inside.
So,
Oh, sorry.
you make your way in, and Raphael is in the room, and he's taken in some of the items from inside the room, and he's fashioned a little iron plate, and he's got a couple of candlesticks holding up 2 candles under a central thing, and he's sitting there trying to roast some of that sausage that he brought up there with him. He's sitting there, he's got it cut up, and he's trying to roast himself some sausage in his room with candles under a little iron plate and the makeshift cookware that he's created. And as you enter the room, once everybody's in,
I'm gonna close the door, lock it.
and he's like, friends, you're just in time for the first seating at my new restaurant.
Raphael, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes, my dear. What can I add? What can I help you with? And he's sitting there and he's cutting the sausage into perfect little squares, and they're sizzling. The smell of the sausage cooking is kind of nice.
First of all, that smells amazing.
Thank you.
I just have a question. Does your family have any interest in your recipes?
Oh, well, yes. They're my sister, Michelle, and or Donna, my sister Donna. She is. So we from time to time exchange ideas and notes on our new recipes.
Well, is there any reason that someone would take a recipe from your file at the restaurant and give to the butler without your knowing it? The family butler from your family's
What
mansion?
he's trying to say is that I personally saw a man give your butler one of your recipes from the Roaring Griffin. Are you aware of this?
Wait, what man?
A man named Yasin.
I don't know of any Yasin.
He's basically the city drunk.
He was just delivering. He was just picking up and delivering the recipe. That was his job. He delivered this.
He sounds like a reprobate.
I know, but he delivered it to your family's butler.
And he takes this this little delicate fork that he's procured from his pocket, and he stabs a couple of sausages on it. And will you try?
Sure.
For him or me?
And he hands one to you, and then he takes the fork and hands it to you.
Okay.
And it's like the meat almost melts in your mouth, and the flavor of the herbs is magnificent. It's not like the heavily salted sausages that you would normally try. It's quite delicate but
like
delicious.
the sailors down at the pier you meet every Friday night.
Saltia's gonna brown us a little bit. Wow, Raphael, that was very, very delicious. But to answer the question,
Why, yes, I know.
to answer the question, were you aware that someone was from your family, your butler, was getting recipes from your tavern?
Other than the recipes that I share with my sister, Donna.
Dan?
Are you and Donna the only children?
No, I have 3 siblings.
What are your siblings' names?
Well, there is my sister Donna. She's an amazing cook as well. There is my brother, Leonardo. He showed a propensity for magic at a very early age. He works for my father, Caldeon. And then my sister, Michelle Angela, she is following in my father's footsteps. She is the one. It was supposed to be me, but to take over the family business of the spice trade. But it is, I love the cooking so much. Sometimes I think I was a disappointment to my father, but Michelle Angela will be, she will be a fine captain of the family business.
Does any of them want what you have? Like, does anybody want their fame and fortune like you have, apparently?
Oh, I don't have fortune, but I mean, I make a very comfortable living.
Are you... So, because you're not following in your family's footsteps...
That's what he did.
Because you're not following in your family...
It's a big old bag of with your name on it.
I saw too, I noticed. Because you're not following your family's footsteps, you say that your father is disappointed. Are you allowed to go back home?
Oh yes, they keep a room for me, and they love it when I come over and cook for the holidays. I was supposed to, at the end of the breaking, prepare a nice meal for my family.
Didn't you say you had a brother that was into magic?
I did.
What's his name?
That's Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Into magic.
So, I'm just trying to wrap my head around why your butler would pay some thief, dirty thief, to come in and steal a recipe from you.
Not even a good thief.
Yeah, he was a pretty bad thief.
Well, if he got my recipes, then he must be at least a fair thief.
Where do you keep your recipes?
Right here.
Do you write down your recipes?
No, sometimes I will dictate them to Aaron.
So Aaron writes them down?
Sometimes she will.
Do your sous chefs or anyone write down recipes?
Oh no, it is forbidden. They are not to write down anything. As a matter of fact, everyone in the kitchen only knows a part of the recipes, so they cannot collaborate and try to copy them.
I see. Yasin the thief, he told me when I gave him some coin that he got the recipe from the kitchen.
What? This is impossible.
Unless Aaron wrote down the recipe.
Aaron may have written something down, but I do not believe that she would ever betray me like this.
Money talks, Raphael. Maybe
So
she's
it
being
does.
paid.
Perhaps this shabby elf you talk of, perhaps he gives you bad information so that he can take your coin.
We'll find
That's
out.
true. But I feel like I gave him enough coin to make him talk the truth.
So is what's her name? The one,
Aaron.
Erin. Is she your sister or is she your sous chef?
Erin? Oh no, she's my maitre d'. She handles the
Oh,
bookings
maitre
for the
d',
rest.
oh.
She handles the bookings for the restaurant,
Do,
and she handles
ask you-
most of the day-to-day running of the
Raphael.
inn as well.
do you, when you're in the kitchen working at a feverish pace and concentrating on what you're doing, do you ever talk to yourself out loud sometime?
It's
like,
ridiculous. But
just
it
go
is so
through-
ridiculous, son. What kind of person just talks to themselves?
I'm just saying this.
It's almost as if you think I like the sound of my own voice.
I think
I mean, you do seem a little
Sounds-
conceited.
I'm just saying, Aaron had to have gotten this recipe.
Well,
Hey, maybe
you would be
Aaron just-
conceited too if you were as great as I am.
I am great looking.
But
Hey,
you
maybe-
can't work a sausage the way that I can.
Oh, you'd be surprised, buddy.
Oh,
gonna
I think I've seen
I'm
plenty
gonna
of
go to his
sausages,
little
Raphael.
fire that he has. I'm just gonna lick my fingers and just put it out.
Why would you do
Cause he's acting like a real prick.
that? He's a chef.
Good for fucking him.
I'm sorry, Raphael. I
He's
don't
our
mean to
friend.
insult.
We try to make
But
friends.
I think I've gotten all the information I need.
A little too high off his own horse.
But is there anyone that you can think of that might want to hurt you at all?
No. I love everyone and everyone loves me.
No, I don't.
Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking maybe.
That's what you're called.
As Xenophon starts grumbling in the corner as he says that, he says, "Oh, come, my little grumpy friend, you must be extra hungry. Oh, you're in luck. The sausage is finished cooking before the fire went out." And he takes it and goes to. He offers you two beautiful sausage. Just the tips of them cut off where he was cutting off squares.
I'll take it.
And he puts them down, the nice and warm, and the juice from the sausage begins running to your fingers and like down the back of your hand.
I put it in my mouth, but I swallow it immediately. I can't.
Without
taste
chewing.
anything.
So you
I can't savor anything.
No, maybe
Right
she is
now,
my
my
girlfriend.
So she's about to deep throat a sausage.
Maybe she is.
And as Xenophon does that, Saltia's like, wait, I want some.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions for Raphael before we...
Real quickly, make a con save.
So you don't gag.
20.
Oh!
So without even breaking eye contact with him, you take both sausages and you go, ha, ha, ah, ah, and then grit your teeth and just be like, you're just like, and your face turns slightly red as you sweat, and you guys can see her throat go like bulge to the sides as it goes, and like you see the throat flex as the sausages just go down.
Vicios goes, "Atta girl."
You really did it.
Saltia's like, that was delicious.
They're still whole. I'm bringing them back up for you.
What do you got, mama bird it?
There's a fetish for that.
I don't wish there was.
Man, you women love swallowing sausage.
Raphael, before we leave, is there anything that your family recognizes, any jewelry that your family would recognize that you usually have so we can present it to them so they believe that you're dead?
Why do you want to be dead?
I don't want to be dead. This
Just for a second.
That's good for you.
this beautiful fiery woman talked to me with a great passion about a boost to my career if everyone thinks I'm dead. And then
She's right.
a week later I come back with my new creation. Oh, what a boon it would be for me as an artist in the kitchen.
That's right. I just agree with him. Yeah, totally good.
That's definitely going to go over well.
But anyways, do you have a piece of jewelry I can present to your family? That I'll get back to you, I promise, but just so they believe that you're dead.
He starts undoing his shirt, pulls it open, and his hair comes popping out. He unbuttons his shirt, and he pulls out, and there's a large medallion that's got the same crest that he had on the one before. He throws over his head. Does it? Please, it was a gift from my papa. You know, I love Caldeon very much.
Did he seem offended at all that I didn't taste his sausage?
No.
Taste it.
He's just impressed.
His demeanor did not change at all, but a single tear on his face.
Thank you, Raphael. I will give this to your family.
No.
So they can keep it in safekeeping for you for when you make your reappearance.
Oh, I did not think about that. I don't suppose I thought it's you would make sure that I got it back, but you are right. They wouldn't want to leave it with a stranger.
I can bury it. If they want to have a ceremony, I can bury it with your body.
Oh no! Tell him my papa to keep it.
Okay. Cool. Let's go, guys.
Couldn't we? I'm gonna pull
No,
the
I'm
sheet
gonna.
out.
Let's go. Let's get out the room.
Okay.
Let's get out the room and we're done freshening up. Let's go and meet down with Ivan. We leave.
Well,
Probably about to go to sleep.
Oh, we have an apartment.
Yeah, we have his apartment. So we're gonna leave and lock the door back up after us.
Okay.
And then go back downstairs. And as we're walking back downstairs, I'm gonna whisper to him, "This is part of the plan."
I mean, I'm just saying, couldn't we try to come up with a concoction to kill him, and then he wakes up like a few days later and he's good to go? So we can actually
Well,
produce a
people are
body.
robbing graves for his family's jewelry, and we have Raphael's jewelry.
I mean, we could have just left it on the body.
we also have all that other jewelry that we found in the calzone.
Well, I don't want Raphael. I mean, I guess we could have done that, but it's too late now. It's too late now. We're going with a plan. I'm gonna be in the coffin, and I'm gonna have the jewelry.
But that doesn't even make sense. I think we got
Follow the plan.
Look, why don't you?
Let's
You
talk
don't
to
want
Ivan.
to scare.
I'm not
Why don't you
smart,
scare
guys.
the butler with your
You
salty
think Ivan
eye,
is?
with your parrot eye, and make him talk? You know.
It's a plan
I'm
B
gonna
plan, but
I'm
let's-
gonna put the medallion in my pocket so no one sees it,
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be swinging
And
around town.
and I'm gonna walk downstairs over to Ivan and.
What do you think? Yeah,
Amber.
I always defer to Amber because she seems like the smartest detective in this group.
I don't know what's going on. I've been downstairs the entire time.
Okay.
I'm a clueless detective right now.
We went and talked to Raphael, and she got a piece of the jewelry. She wants to jump in his grave, pretend like
Okay.
she's dead.
This is the information I've gathered with after I told Raphael.
Are we by ourselves before we go spewing this
Yeah.
knowledge?
Okay, you're outside. Outside, are you making your way down the halls? What are you doing? Are you going to just talk outside the door? Are you
We're-
going to go catch up with the rest
I'm
of
gonna
them?
catch up with Ivan and all them.
Okay. So, making your way back downstairs, you come down the stairs just as they're finishing talking up with Eli, and you guys meet at the bottom of the stairs. Aaron is standing as you come down the stairs just to your right, the dining hall off to your left as you're facing the door of the Roaring Griffin. There's, Eli is in the dining hall.
Ivan, I'm pretty tired. We should rest for the night.
If we're meeting Eli at the crypt bright and early, probably would not be a bad idea.
She deep-throated 2 sausages.
Are you serious?
It was fucking baller.
Ivan, I thought we were gonna go to the cemetery and stay watch. I mean, we're all tired, but we have to follow through at night.
Correct, but when we took the job,
Fucking sweet Easter Bunny came. Sorry. I know, I don't mean to break immersion, but this is important shit.
Oh, that's it.
I wasn't eating them earlier, I swear.
I wasn't too.
Take a break.
Hey,
Put those in your mouth.
Or
I know you're full from the sausage, but
Yeah.
Everyone just elbow each other in the face.
Shucking fucking
More.
Thank you.
No more.
Please, sir, may
I only have
some
2
more?
left.
Here. Here. Please. Ha. Ha.
It's
Okay.
up to Zach. He only has 2 left.
Oh my god! I thought that was.
And
Do you like white chocolate?
That's
I'm
right.
gonna whisper to
That was my
Ivan.
Thank you.
So,
Well, I'm gonna figure out that one back.
Immersion.
I'm gonna whisper to Ivan. I don't want to
Immersed.
Vestaman, when we took this job, we were not due to the crypt in the morning. So if we get there and it's locked, we know that A, the perpetrators are not in there at the moment.
It's pronounced perpetrators.
Perpetrators.
Perp.
Porp.
We'll fix it later.
Alright. But, so we know that the bad people are not going to be in there if the door is locked. If we go in the morning and the door is open, as Eli says, then we have things to investigate. We have tracks to follow. Now, would you like us to go to the crypt now?
I'd say let's just go ahead and go to the crypt. If anybody wants to stay, they can stay. But for people that don't mind staying up late, we can do this.
We'll probably be in
yeah, I say
private
I
there
agree
too.
with Misty. I say we go to the
don't
crypt and stake it out.
That's
I
right.
mean, if you want to go to sleep, whoever wants to go to sleep, go to bed. The rest of us would go to the crypt.
Did
And we'll stake
anybody
it out.
did anybody get burned from the hot cheese?
Oh, never mind.
I'm good.
No,
Alright, then
my silky smooth skin is just fine.
that's wonderful. Then I guess we're going to go to the crypt and we're going to stake it out.
Yes, let's go with
that. Was an
that.
actual stutter, that wasn't.
I figured.
Okay. So yes, I suppose we're going to go.
that literally sounded like it came from behind me. I thought the TV was fucking short now or something.
It's a fart
yeah.
TV.
So we're going to make our move to the crypt
3D noises.
under the cover of nightfall.
Okay.
The night is my shadow. I start tiptoeing.
Oh, by the way, did you tell us that you had the amulet?
No, I haven't told anyone
Okay.
anything yet.
Okay. We're gonna bypass a lot of confusion real quick and say that while you guys were talking quietly about this at the bottom of the stairs, because I don't want you to go out and get into the streets and realize that nobody's told you where this is yet. We're gonna say that
Eli did actually. Eli told us it was just outside the city gate.
You're a good note keeper.
he didn't say which gate and he didn't say which, you know.
Fine. Okay.
So because we will say for brevity's sake, so that you don't go out and start just like looking for, because there are 3 gates to the city that are not at port. So that you went and spoke to Eli, and he gave you specific directions, to, you know, where to go outside the city. As much fun as it is to watch you guys get confused as fucking frustrated, we're gonna do that a different time.
Okay. Great.
So again, you make your way through the streets, having gotten your information from Eli. There's people are partying like crazy. Are you trying to kill a bug of them?
No,
No,
it's need more candy.
Throwing you chocolate, baby.
Give you chocolate, baby.
Somebody's got inspiration points.
Okay, so we went now.
So making your way through the city streets. The party, like back towards the city center, is in full swing. People are celebrating the fact that there's no more ice. There are people making bonfires in the streets. Men that are doing like local dances and folk dances. With their, they're now shirtless and sweating around fires as they're chanting and musicians are playing. Then you make your way.
Can I, on the way, can I see where the meat is cooking and grab a rack of ribs and throw them some coin?
Absolutely, yes. You can see there
So I
are
can
there
eat
are
on the-
street
So I can
street
eat on
vendors.
the way to the crypt.
You're able to find a place where they got some fresh meat, so skewers of meat and meat on the bone, and Vestamon, having not had enough this evening with the calzone, you're making your way, leaving the raucous noise of the city behind you, as the sounds fading away as you make your way out under this half moon, the stars bright in the sky. As you make your way north, the road comes to a crossroad that you cross. It's getting to be, again, just a little past midnight as you find where the road forks off to the east-west road. The road heads where you were told it would head off to one of the roads to Suzale. Another road leads you off up and over a hill, and to where there's a few posts, L-shaped posts sticking up out of the ground, where old lanterns unlit hang. That takes you to a hillside where there's iron gates set into what looks to be a man-made stone doorway in the exact place where you Eli told you that the city crypts would be.
As we approach, Satya looks around and makes sure there's no one around.
Okay, make a perception check.
That is a 19.
19. Off the roadside, just past the gates to the cellars and crypts, there's a wagon pulled off to the side of the road, about 150 feet past. It does not. There's a wagon and a horse hitched to it. It doesn't appear that there is anyone there at the wagon and horse though.
Can we see if we hear any, like, cutting, scratching, digging in one around the crypts? Any, like,
Make your perception check.
any kind of noise that would 19.
19. As the rest of the party's like looking down at the wagon, sitting off in the darkness with the shadow, or with the shadows of the trees and the moon up. Vestamon goes and puts his ears up to the flat iron grating, the gates, listens. Didn't hear any clawing, scratching, or anything like that.
So if I look at the wagon, does it look like the wagon of a wealthy person that may be visiting their own family crypts, or does it look like a suspicious, kind of worn down, like...
Grave robber.
Are you going over to it and checking it out? Or are you just like, this is just trying to do
I
this
can
looking?
probably tell that at a distance. Like, is it very well built with fine wood? Does it have fancy,
Make
like,
your
ornaments?
perception check.
Why would somebody visit their family at midnight?
Morning wife, you never know.
Did you say morning wood?
Morning mistress.
Morning wood.
Morning wood, you never know.
It's at night.
Widow.
It's Nightwood.
Oh, morning widow. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes a lot more sense.
See, investigation?
Sure.
Oh, okay. That would be 11.
11. It's kind of dark, but it looks to be a reasonably well maintained wagon from here. It doesn't look like it's the moonlight you can see glinting off of what looks to be fresh paint. So it doesn't appear as if it doesn't look as if it's breaking down in the dark.
Is it a covered wagon or just an open wagon?
It's a flat wagon.
Okay. Ivan,
Hey,
I have some information from our
More, it would be almost more like it's a large cart. you know.
Can I go look in the back of it and see if there's any tools?
Oh yeah, totally. If you want to.
Yeah.
Does you?
I'll go with best of mine.
You go over, and you see there's several things of burlap and canvas in the back of it. A couple of bundles of heavy rope, very similar to the ones that you would see used in the docks, and one small crate that's sitting on top of some of the canvas.
Any shovels or spades or any of that stuff?
Any traces of dirt back there?
In the back of it?
Yeah.
You can make your perception check.
15.
There is something all over the bottom of the floor of the cart. It looks suspicious. You think it's dirt for a moment. You run your hands through it. Your scaly, dragony hands. It smells like rosemary and sage.
Spices.
While they're investigating, if I look around, do I see anyone like just floating around, maybe noticing we're looking at their cart? See if we're alone.
You already rolled for perception for that once, didn't you?
For the cart.
Okay. But
I rolled to look around.
Okay, you roll.
Oh,
Yeah, make
okay.
a perception check again. Then this is another person making perception because you're looking for something specific.
Perception. 6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Quick scan from where you are. It's actually because of the where you are and the way that the half moon is really bright in your eyes. You're peering out and you see it's almost like movement in the shadows, but you can't tell if it's people. You get spooked for a second. You can't tell if it's people or if it's just the trees moving in the dark.
Can I suggest that we kind of spread out and kind of stand beside some of these large tombstones and see who comes this way?
Oh, just for clarification, there are no tombstones out here. There is a doorway. There's a large hillside and a stone door, and there are 2 iron gates that you were standing in front of. That but you do notice because you rolled high for that perception check for when you were looking to hear. You put your ears up to the grates. As you glance down, you glance down and look at the ground. The chains that should be on the doors to the cellars are on the ground.
Should one of us hide from underneath the cart and follow, or are we going to investigate and figure out what's
I
going
say
on?
let's go in.
We can do that, or perhaps it is what the elven people call game time.
Okay.
Before we go in, Ivan,
Ah.
I feel like everyone should know about the information that Monsieur and all of us found out with Raphael.
I heard something about double swallowing.
Yeah, I heard about the 2 sausages.
Champion.
But had nothing to do with what Raphael had to say. But it was pretty sweet, and I'm kind of jealous she got more sausage than me. That's
Do I want
that's
to
a
know
new
the
one.
rest of this?
It
Anyways.
was quite scary.
Raphael has a couple siblings.
What did they do to you, Misty?
His father and his brother are both magic users.
I didn't. Hold on. Do you think I swallowed sausage?
Oh, I think you got your sausage swallowed.
No. Never.
I mean,
Wait a minute.
The beer tickles your balls.
I always,
Not tonight, baby.
well, no, I always just assumed that the sausage swallowing was something the 2 of you did on the regular basis.
No.
Hot dog chugging, actually.
Oh, is that what you call it, you dwarves?
It's like a beanie weenie chug.
That's unfortunate.
It's quite sad.
But fuck. Are we planning on going in?
Well, there's so many of us that we could stand out here and I could club them when they come out with my staff.
Well, perhaps they're just workers. They're people.
Well, I don't
working in
care.
there.
They
I'd
can club
rather
it. If they're here at midnight,
If we could,
they need clubbing.
if anything, with everything we've investigated that led us up to this point, I would like to catch the perpetrators in the act.
Now, is the lock actually like broken into, or is it unlocked?
It's on the ground.
It's on the ground.
It's on the
The
ground.
chains are on the ground. but
It's
is
on the
the
ground,
lock
so they're
broken
breaking in.
enough?
Yeah,
as
does it
far
look
as
like
I'm
it's been
concerned.
forced into, Mistios?
Look, we're deputies. We got
I've
right.
seen, we've seen Mistios. I saw him pick a lock with a piece of fucking bone. Can you tell us if this was picked or if this was broken in half?
I just look at the lock. Making. I just want to check it out.
Make an investigation check.
17.
And 17 from the looks of this lock and your vast knowledge of lock picks and lock picking tools, it looks as if this has been opened with a key.
This looks like it's been opened with a key. No craziness. No black magic. No sorcery. No lockpicks. A key. I'm going down. I'm just gonna start walking down.
She's swallowing sausage and you're going down.
This is a weird stick.
Since you can see, I'm going to stay about 10-15 feet back.
I'm gonna be with him because I can see in the dark pretty well.
Okay, so the two of you begin.
I'll follow him.
Okay.
Are we all just going together?
I'm gonna be in the sneakiest of sneaks.
But they can see in the dark.
I guess he's.
I'm gonna be sneaky
I
with him.
kinda don't want to get locked in, so I'm gonna pick up the lock and pocket it.
Or is it on the door?
God, you're smart.
Hmm?
I can't think of
Is the lock on
The
the
lock
door?
was with the chains on the ground. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the lock, so
That's
you
gonna be
don't get
really
locked
loud
in.
though.
Yeah, you gonna pocket the
Shing,
lock.
shing,
Oh,
shing, shing.
No, Mistios.
Hi.
Emmer, could I see that chain and lock, please? How long is the chain?
How long is the chain?
Yeah.
I'm not into
That's
whatever.
just
you're
like a foot and a half.
I'm
Just long enough to go through the handles to the doors.
I'm just gonna sink the lock on the end of the chain, like not like lock it, but just put it on there and hand it to Mistios. Say, you can keep this quiet, and this is also your training whip. You practice swinging something heavy. When you get the real whip, it'll feel like nothing.
It's this long.
It's close enough.
you're in close quarters.
Whips are like. Are you fucking kidding me?
My father told me a story about the.
Fuck your father. Let's go.
There's gonna be a Sons of Anarchy joke.
Okay, well, I'm going to then just take the chain, and then I'm going to like try to like fashion it like on my person, so that way like,
Okay,
I'm trying to
yeah.
do it like around through here.
Okay, you're able to take it, and it's not long enough once you put the lock on it. It's not long enough to wear like as a bandolier, but you can wear it like now it's like you kind of look like a medieval rapper with a big iron chain.
And I'm a dark elf. Perfect.
You're an albino dark elf.
There we go.
You poser.
Let's do it. Cool. So I'm wearing the. Oh, cool. Now I'm just gonna have like my hands on it, try to keep it from making noises.
Okay.
Am I seriously on fire?
I know.
And I'm gonna start walking down.
Okay. So you got Mistios in the front, followed by Xenophon.
I'm giving them
There.
a wide berth. So
There.
they can...
Shield up.
I'm with Mistios.
That's
Okay.
a wild birth.
As you make your way down into, you can feel there's like a breeze coming from, from behind you as the wind is being pulled in. Salty Eye, Ivan, three
And
of
your
you
boy.
do it. Huh?
And your boy.
Okay. Armaeus makes his way in. Are you're gonna stay outside?
Yeah, I'm gonna guard in case anybody tries to sneak up and shut the door.
Okay.
Well, we took the locks. So.
But they don't know that.
Oh, they
Well,
They don't know that. So somebody could come up and try to shut the door, and we'll be outside. I'm gonna be out there, and I'm gonna kind of be in the shadows. I'm not just be standing out there. I'm gonna be crouched down in the shadows.
Okay. And are you staying with him, or are you going into the?
I'm really curious. I want to see the dead people.
Why did that surprise me? As you make your way in, the sound The faint dripping sound of water in the distance. These doorways, I mean, not just, this is the stone walkway that you move into is large enough that you could fit a horse and cart in here. It's quite wide, about 12 feet wide and about 10 feet high. And you make your way into this stone arched way corridor. You pass several rooms. You see openings to the right that goes further into the hillside.
Good.
It's all good. You see one room on the right as you make your way in, stacked high with crates and bags. This goes on for almost a quarter mile into the hillside. As you make your way in, there's a turn to the right as it begins to descend. Again, there's places where it looks like where they have municipal stores of food. There's like what looks to be backup bales of textiles and things of that nature, and till you finally, it's like after this, like sort of like an underground warehouse. These that you come, it finally, the tunnel comes to an abrupt end, and then there's another iron gate in front of you.
Is this supposed to be a crypt?
It's the crypt and cellars.
Can I, while they're going down there, can I look on the outside and see if there's a name on a plaque on the front anywhere?
Absolutely. Yes. Actually, you find it quite as easily. It's
And who is it?
Marsember Municipal Cellars and Crypt.
So they keep supplies here in the crypt?
There, yes.
They
Yeah,
keep like
They yes, you
dry
were
goods and stuff.
told that they used to keep everything under the city itself, but they had a problem with the canals, that the cellars and crypts that were under the city originally 2 decades ago began flooding, and bodies and goods began washing out into the canals, is what was told to you. Actually, but you weren't there for
so
it.
this
That's
must
why.
be higher ground.
This is slightly elevated from the city of Marsember, which sits right on the coast.
Okay.
And we've known that.
Yes, you
Okay.
you know you would have known that because you were told it, you were there for it
Okay.
when you were told this by Eli Bannerin that all of this was moved just outside of the coastal city because everything kept flooding.
Oh, okay. He just didn't tell us into the cemetery.
But they consolidated the cellars and the crypts into one thing just outside of the city.
So I'm gonna look to everyone and I'm gonna say, I just realized, isn't there another location that is possibly abandoned?
We're already here.
How so?
If this is not the original like storage and cellar area,
Oh,
and the other one is abandoned, it could be someone's hiding out in the abandoned one.
That'd be another place to
Yeah,
check out.
that would be another place to check out. Just making a note of it.
That's a damn good point.
It's pretty smart.
As we're walking deeper and deeper into the cellar crypt, do I hear anything?
Make your perception check. Okay, now you've reached another set of doors. You've reached another set. You've walked past what looks to be cellars, dry goods storage, and now you've come to what looks to be like another entrance, something smaller and more confined. That, as you're peering through the dark, through this smaller hallway, You can see like plaques on the walls on either side of this very long corridor.
Plaques of names?
The plaques of names and doorways to the right and left. It looks as if this here is where the cellars end and the crypts begin.
Can I tell if it's alphabetized?
From where you are,
Yeah.
on the other side of the door, you can't read it from this far away through the iron gates.
Does this gate also have a lock?
As you're looking at it, you go to check to see if this door is locked, and it is slightly ajar. So you put your hand, you reach out and put your hand on it to see if it's locked, and it, as the iron squeaks a bit.
Ivan, what was on the cart?
Spices. Spices were on the floor, and there was a box. But the box resembled the ones that we just walked past, correct?
Yes, but much smaller.
What if, like, that was a cover? If they're caught under here, they could say they were just restocking the cellar.
That's also smart.
We're past the cellar part. Looks like the crypts now.
Okay.
So they shouldn't be here.
Here's an idea. Armaeus and Mystios take the front. You sneak ahead.
Here's another idea. What if we switch locks on them? They try to get out, they can't. They're wondering why the key to the lock isn't working anymore. We lock them in with us.
Well,
we have the lock with us.
We could, we go inside and then lock the door behind?
With the lock on his.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the lock key to the cellar is different than the one to the
iron gate.
To the crypt.
And if they look identical, they're going to be trying to use the same key on the one that they're assuming is its partner.
That's a good idea.
And they won't know anyone else is in here then.
But do we want to lock it and then check in the morning, or do we want to go now and lock the door behind us?
We can do both. If we don't see anything, we can leave and lock the door up to the lock.
With the new lock. Okay.
Usually, in these times, a lot of keys will fit a lot of different locks.
And our keymaster is right here. He could probably tell us by looking at it and putting his pinky in it and like feeling around, kind of like it.
As they're discussing, Saltia's just gonna keep peering down the gate where the hall is.
Okay, as you're looking down, you're discussing about locks and different mechanisms and what could be possible motivations. You begin inspecting the lock itself. It's not a lock that can remove. This is one that's built into the iron door itself, not a chained lock.
Oh, they're different.
They are it appears like the mechanisms are different. This is there's one that was more like a lock that would fit on a chain, and this one was actually made into the iron itself.
Oh,
and
that's not gonna work then.
And then.
I could damage the lock to make
And then
it
you see from the other end of the hallway some flashes of light at the other end of the crypt hallway behind the iron door.
Okay.
I can lock it and then I can try to damage the lock.
Guys,
It doesn't open.
do you see that? There's light.
Yeah, there is, and
Yeah, it looks like almost like really bright or really large lightning bugs.
From this distance, can I tell if it's magical?
find out.
Or what spell it is, if it is?
It's make an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Oh, you should have used the other ones.
12.
12. The light doesn't look natural.
Hey guys, that light doesn't look natural.
Saltia's just gonna open the gate very slightly so she can fit herself in and just kind of start walking down.
And make your way. Make a stealth check real quick. 12. You're able to squeeze through without a sound and step into the hallway.
Guys.
Again from the other end of the hall. Couple more flashes.
Guys, wait here. And I take my hamster and I set it down on the ground and say, go ahead. Tell me what you find.
How are you gonna talk to me?
I'm already walking down.
With my words.
No, I mean, like, how's it gonna talk back to you?
It's not.
I'm just gonna keep walking. I'm
Small,
just gonna ignore you.
small problem here.
I think he assumes like he knows more about this hamster than he actually does. Let him.
Go.
I'm gonna walk until I can kind of see what the light's coming from.
Okay, so making your way down the hall, you move 30, 60, 90 feet past the plaques, focused on the lights at the end of the hall. And one, as you make it 120 feet, there's a couple of them right in front of your face. And suddenly feel something that's just like a shocking pain reverberate across your rib cage, and you see light from the far end of the hall flash as you take 8 points of damage. Just this shocking feeling just electrifies you.
That's a go sign, yeah?
Go
Sure.
fight or go run.
Go help.
And as soon as this you see the shadow, the silhouette of Salty Eye down at the other end of this hallway, you see all of a sudden 5 bright balls of light with little dark specks in the center of each come to light at the far end of the hall as that all begins to move to surround her.
I'm going to begin moving. Do I recognize anything undead about these?
Yes, your sense of undead just all of a sudden goes off the chart.
Armaeus, bad juju. We go.
Okay.
Start moving.
I want to try and tackle Salty Eye out of the way before
I'm
Before any more
120
damage.
feet down.
She's 120 feet down. It's gonna take
I'm
you.
gonna try and get down there fast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw the gate open.
Okay. So as you throw the gate open, everybody roll initiative.
Ah, here we go.
Lovely.
Oh, God.
What's your initiative?
Oh, it's a plus one. Like,
Oh.
Oh, mine is 0. I have no initiative.
you got higher than me, though.
Okay. 20 and 25. For initiative.
22.
22.
Inspection.
No, the first pencil that I picked up is like worn down to a nub. You know? It's gonna be writing like a Sharpie. It's so wide now.
I hate
Nubs.
nubs.
All right, you need to watch that kind of language. Somebody out there with nubs is gonna get offended.
Fuck you, nubs.
Okay, 15 to 20.
Hey.
19.
17.
I should have wrestled in the arm to cold nubs.
Was he good?
It was really good.
Nice.
For a man with no arms.
Okay.
He's from Harrison.
10 to 15.
12.
Okay, under 15.
Wait, no, shit. I'm sorry. 13.
He's not
I'm
there.
outside.
Oh.
She
I
got
don't,
a
I don't even know what's going on. I'm hiding in the
What-
shadows.
what'd
Oh,
you get
I'm
her?
8,
Creep up.
sorry.
8.
I was 13, Zach. I forgot to have my dex.
Okay. And what'd you get?
4.
4.
How do you always
Unlucky.
Captain Chunk.
I'll be there. A little bit later than you guys.
Well, you have shorter legs.
I'm also kind of heavy.
Well, maybe if you stopped eating so many sausages.
Don't tell me what to do!
Okay.
Way too many solicitors.
Okay, so up first, Salty Eye.
I'm gonna try and disengage and kind of fall back 30 feet.
Okay. All right. So, but do you have the disengage action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're gonna disengage and try. Okay, so you don't provoke that attack of opportunity
Well, for you, it's a bonus action.
to disengage.
Yeah, cutting action.
I want to get out of there until I back
Okay,
up.
so you
What?
disengage and start moving backwards.
Yeah.
So you move back 30 feet. Outstanding.
And that's my turn.
Outstanding.
And I'm actually gonna ready my short bow as well.
Okay. Okay, so
Do I need to for this?
okay, so Armaeus, you're gonna you're just dashing down the hall.
Yeah.
Dashing down the hall.
Okay.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Okay.
Salty Eye's getting screwed.
So-
Hamster's
Oh my
already there.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
So, Armaeus takes off running down the hall as 3 of the balls of light and just surround Salty Eye.
Last time we built with glowing balls, it almost killed.
See,
Oh no.
and again, as you feel them latch onto your body and this shocking feeling, and you feel it draining your life energy away. You finally get a good look at these things. They look to be like little flying pastries, like almost like smaller versions of the calzones that are draining your life force out of you.
What?
Yes.
And
Holy
as they drain
calzone.
off another 18 points of your vitality.
Can I dodge?
Huh?
Can I dodge at all? Like uncanny dodge?
Yes, you can try to use uncanny dodge.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use that.
Okay.
I dodged the calzones.
No, these are much smaller than calzones. They look more like dumplings or something,
Pockets.
like little dumplings or something.
Use your reaction to half.
Life-draining dumplings.
So the damage half.
I don't have to roll for that. Oh, okay, so it's not
Unless he
damage.
tells you to.
Do I have to roll for
Okay, yeah, you just do no, it just halves the damage.
that? Okay, I'm gonna take 9 damage then.
Okay. Okay, Mystios.
I'm gonna check the hallway for traps to see if anybody stepped on a pressure plate or tripped a wire.
Okay, so you quickly investigate. I'll go ahead and do your sleight of hand check, searching for that, looking for. No, wait, no. It's sorry. It's gonna be an investigation.
Okay, that will be then a 18.
18, looking furiously around the hallway, taking your action to look around. There's no signs of any kind, traps or tripwires or anything.
Okay, and then I guess as a bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and just ready an arrow, just ready my bow and arrow.
Okay.
And
Okay,
I'll-
so you're at the other end of the hall. You're still back by the doors.
Can I still go into sneak, or is that too much?
No, you can still. Yeah, you can do that.
Cool.
I mean, because we haven't used any of your movement, so I mean,
Cool.
you wanna, I mean, and this is a dark, shadowy place, so
Cool.
so yes, using your sneak. The other 2 lights come down the hall to around Salty Eye, and one of them connects with her neck.
Oh,
And begins draining off this. You hear this wet is this dumpling-looking thing. This comes up and hits the side of her neck and drains off another 4 points of her vitality.
damn.
I think
Blowing balls
I
ain't
think
no
I know what's
joke.
going on here.
You have?
I think I have an idea.
You're that good with puns?
What?
What?
You figured this out already?
Just maybe.
Vitality ball.
I don't know about puns, but I think I know what's going on.
Bun puns.
I have an idea, but fuck, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I don't know, because remember the last time
Yeah,
we...
yeah.
God damn it! How much damage?
Think of Italian dumplings.
how much damage these Italian dumplings doing me?
4.
I mean, yeah, he already took care of it for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ivan, what do you want to do?
Bonus action, rake the whip and activate it.
Okay.
Radiant. And I'm going to use my action to dash and get as close as I can to something.
So 60 feet down the hall, that actually puts you dead even with Armaeus, and because the 60 feet and the 30 feet, you're now 20 feet away from Salty Eye and these things that are now buzzing all around her. Actually, go ahead and make your perception check as you're looking.
19.
You can definitely see it's like the thought pops into your head. It's like, God damn it, because it looks like there's more undead food.
As he's
It's the
looking
sense
at
of evil.
As he's looking at the undead food, Salty Eye is just screaming in pain. There's fucking pastries and they hurt like hell.
Oh, yeah. You get the scent of as this thing is hit your neck and begins draining off your life force. You get the scent of seasoned meat and potatoes inside this pastry.
They're dumplings.
Does it smell
Ember,
like the
what do you want to do?
sausage?
Huh?
Does it smell like the sausage that Raphael made?
It smells like seasoned meat, but it's not in the same sausagey kind of way.
Okay. Very important.
Okay, so I take a couple steps forward. I look around before I aim fire at anywhere. Salty Eye is still by herself.
Yes, and there's Ivan and Armaeus are like halfway there down the corridor.
And she's not looking so good. I cast a wall of fire around her, separating her from the pastries. On the inside, she is safe.
I thought the pastry was on her neck.
Oh!
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes, they're in contact with her skin right now.
Yeah, they're on me.
You're gonna kill her too, huh?
Never mind.
But then no one gets me.
That's the point.
You're safe from your own party.
Are there any more calzones floating around?
It looks as if the five lights radiating from the other end of the hall are in fact all concentrated on
Concentrations.
Salty Eye.
What is up with the flying food?
Can I run up as close as I can, mage hand, and see if the mage hand will take one of them off?
Okay, let's see. So, you can run 30 feet. That gets you within 90 feet of it. What's the range on Mage Hand? Mage Hand is 30 feet, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess.
Yeah. As you extend the Mage Hand down towards the other end of the hall, it extends another 30 feet, and it puts you about. If your Mage Hand can get about 60 feet away.
Mage hand, 30 feet.
So you can run 30, and your Mage Hand extends 30.
Well, I'm useless right now. I'm sorry. I tried. It's okay. I just run up.
But this time you can hear the shouts and screams coming from down the tunnel from back to where you are.
Damn it, I knew it.
And he's hears
Oh,
pastries!
I was expecting him to be like, damn, that's crazy.
He hears pastries!
What have they done now? All right, let me go investigate. So I'm going to start heading down into the tunnel.
Okay.
So I'm going to start heading that way.
Vestamon hearing the shouts of the party and then begins scurrying down past
I
the
cast light from
cat.
the
I was
south
just
side
about
of
to
the
say,
trail.
as he touches the end of his staff to light his way as he makes his way, his luxurious white hair blowing in the wind as he makes his way down the tunnels. Okay, top of the order, Salty Eye.
I didn't get to go.
Xenophon.
Bottom of the order.
Bottom of the order.
Run.
Sorry, your initiative was so low you don't get to go till next time.
I can't do anything anyway. I run all 25 feet, and that's about it.
25. Okay.
You
And
can ask your axe to do something. Be like,
What's
go.
it gonna do? Run the other 45 feet?
Sure, ask it. Ask it and it'll do it.
No, that's okay. I'll just run my 25
Okay.
feet.
You use your action to dash as well.
Yeah, so you make it 50.
Action
You can make
dash.
it 50 feet.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so 50 feet down the hallway. Okay, salty eye, covered with these white light, with these white lights and
Swallow this.
meat and potato filled pastries, draining your life force away.
Can I like push them off?
Hmm?
Can I try and grab them and take them off my body?
You can. Yeah, you can try anything. You can try to do anything you want.
You can be whatever you want to be. B-A-R-B-I-E. Barbie girl. Okay.
I'm actually gonna
Oh my god! Who are you?
disengage again
Okay.
and
Shaved.
dash.
Okay, so disengage and 30, 60 feet, you make it up
Excuse me?
just behind where Armaeus and Ivan are. So you make it to the other side of them.
Okay, good. Not that data damage.
Okay. And you disengage so that you do not provoke an attack of opportunity. Okay. Nice. Three of them still began moving down the hall.
They sound like when they move.
They do move silently there. The light from them
Just imagining
bobbing
like
and ebbing. What's your AC?
18.
18. So, what's your AC?
16.
So one of them hits you and one of them hits you.
Wow, rude.
Again, as the smell of meat and potatoes hits you, and you feel this this electric shock go through you, and then the draining of your 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points for you.
Is that like lightning damage, or is it?
Nice.
Poisoning.
Yes, it is lightning damage, so it's halved on you.
Okay.
It's halved.
Yeah.
16.
With 18 points to you.
Holy shit!
Damn, son.
What's the meaning of this?
But why?
Don't understand.
Let's
What
hope-
happens if you eat them?
Huh?
What?
What?
Nothing?
If we eat them, they can't kill us.
Yeah, why don't you run over and start eating them?
Because I don't like them.
Oh,
They're undead.
to save your friend, you wouldn't go over and eat
They're
them.
undead dumplings. What do you want me to do? Eat
So
them.
close. So close. So close.
Ghost dumplings?
Life draining. Anybody?
Leeches? I don't know.
Life training.
So let's just keep going.
Is this something we're all supposed to know?
Armaeus.
Hey!
Are there any onions?
Either
I'm gonna
hide
take
or there. Whoa there.
attack there.
They're goddamn vampirogies, okay?
Ah!
Okay.
What is that?
Pierogi. Pierogi?
It's an Italian dumpling. A pierogi.
No, what's Greek?
No, it's a vampire.
It's also very much
Something's
loved by
created
Russians.
these.
Yeah?
Okay,
What is it,
so,
Max Wife?
I love how you get upset and throw your fist down on the table.
Well, come on, I worked hard on that pun.
And I love it. I love it. I just, we're all kind of dumb. So you have to tell us these things.
Take your expectations of us and lower them immensely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did
we
you
have to
roll
go.
for initiative on our smartness?
So can I take the gun and try and shoot the thing on my neck? I'm just kidding.
No.
Just no. Well, okay. Now, in all fairness, what they do is they come up. They use part of their movement. They come up and drain some of your life force, and then move back away. They're not attached to you like a leech. So it's the light is hovering in front of you now.
I thought they'd just stay there and just suck the life.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to step backwards further than 5 feet, pull out my gun, I'm gonna shoot the fucking thing.
Cool. Okay. Cool. So you
Light up the way.
I can't see!
So you take a couple of steps back, have this
That'll never
ball
die.
of light, and
For 15 to hit.
and right as the gun flashes, it moves out of the way, and you hear it ricochet off the rocks at the far
Cool.
end.
Bonus action reload. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Why?
Much better. 25 to hit.
And all of a sudden, the flame engulfs the flame from the end of your gun engulfs the ball of light that had previously just come up and struck you on the bare skin of your throat and neck area. Roll your damage.
Sweet. Go gadget dice. For 8 damage.
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
As the ball of light dims for a moment, and comes back.
Damn!
Wait, it came back?
It looks damaged, but it's not. It didn't go all the way.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna keep backing up until I have my full 30 feet of movement.
Okay, cool. You get backing up.
Since we're all together now.
Okay.
We are.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Those three.
Missios.
Hey, your boy. Alrighty. So still in my old sneaky snake mode, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get up as close as I can. I'm gonna use I'm gonna
You've got like 40 feet of movement, don't you? Is it 30 or 40?
it's 30, but then I
Okay.
also have dash, which would give me an extra.
Okay.
But that's your action.
But that's my action. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna get up as close as I can with the 30 feet,
Okay.
and then
That puts you within 30 feet of everybody.
perfect. Now I want to shoot at one of them with my bow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, do him
But
with my bow. And I'm gonna for that's baby grill. Okay, so that's 19 plus 7. Yeah. That's
Come on.
26. Wait, hold on. No. Yeah, 26. 26 to hit.
26 does hit.
Cool. So I need a lot of these.
Well, you have a lot. So.
So let's just do it like this. 6, 10,
What do you want to?
6, 4, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4.
26.
26 points of damage.
26 points of damage. So one of the ones that's one of the balls that had originally one of the first ones that had approached that came up and past Ivan, and it was just like hovering in the air. One of the ones that had first come in contact with Salty Eye is hovering there in air, and you come from the shadows, and it's and it goes the arrow goes straight through the center of the ball of light, and bits of potato and meat shatter splatter all over the floors. As the light flares brightly and as disappears as your arrow clatters down the rest of the way down the hall.
Nice. Then I'm gonna go back into my sneak.
Wait a minute. Hold on one second. How much was it? 26?
26.
Passes through it. The ball. The goes and comes back together.
That's a strong pierogi.
It was.
But then I'm gonna
It
go
is- it's-
like, and just go back into sneak.
Okay. The other two come up around the hallway. They come up and they settle back around Salty Eye again.
Salty.
Does that provoke an attack of opportunity at all?
Huh?
Is that
Are
like
those the ones that were near Armaeus and I?
Huh?
Because Armaeus killed one.
Yes.
So
no? He attacked me. He didn't kill it.
these are coming from further down the hall, or these are leaving us to go attack her?
Huh? They are actually coming. They're coming around you, so they will provoke attacks of opportunity.
Yes, please. I will take that. For 16?
16 does not hit.
Okay. I tried.
Okay.
Dang,
What are you
that's
doing for Armaeus? Is he going to take his attack of opportunity?
Probably.
Okay.
I think
Is he behind another rock?
he's actually squatting right over there. Armaeus, do you want to hit him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to try to hit him.
Yeah. I want help.
Okay, he says yes, he will. Okay.
Okay.
I love Twitch.
Huh?
I love Twitch. So, he's going to use
He just reloaded a gun. If he wants to fire one of his guns, yeah, he can do so without disadvantage.
Cool. That's the one.
As they're flying past, just roll to hit. Just roll your 20. I know is
12 plus 9.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, that will hit.
21.
Which
Well, actually, Kill rolled a 16 on here.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, I don't want
11. And so that's going to go to 5. Okay, cool. As they come around and... Sorry. As one of them comes in contact with the skin on your arm, it's for 9 points of damage.
Jeez.
And then the other one drains off another 11 points of vitality.
So 20 total?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm uncanny dodge.
Does
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
to reduce it to 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need help. Wow! God, it hurt! Get the damn pierogies off me!
Hello, Vampirogis. Good evening.
If I ever
Sarah,
open,
Bond, get your beard over here!
if I ever open a restaurant, Vampirogi.
Oh, she has no legs.
Okay.
Bitch.
Okay.
Cut off her legs.
Oh.
Which brings us actually to Ivan.
I'm going to.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Is there still one in front of me? The one that attacks me?
Yes.
Or- okay. I'm going to. I'm going to hit that one.
Okay. So moving so that it's you to get a good angle on it using
Yeah,
you're using the whip.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to. I'm gonna try to get at it vertically so I don't like hit anybody
Okay.
nearby. For a 20.
20 hits.
This is good.
In front of you would have been that one.
You did say that they were undead, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage.
3 of that being radiant.
Okay, so that one. Okay, so as the whip, as you careful overhand strike and then pulling it at the last second, the one that Mystios had previously hit with its arrow, it was still its light ebbing and beginning to come back. You're able to catch it with the whip, and the light from the radiant damage as it does explode all over the hallway, showering meat and mashed potatoes everywhere. So some of it comes to hit you on the side of the face.
And Salty
It's
Eye.
pleasantly warm.
And Salty Eye is 30 feet from me?
Oh no, she's only like 20
Friends,
feet
I'm
from
sorry. Are we still
you.
fighting?
Yes. I am.
So many pierogies.
I'm going to use my movement to get within range of one.
Okay.
And if I need to not hit her, I want to like wrap a length of chain around my fist to shorten the length of the
Okay,
whip.
yeah.
Kind of like a rope dart. Yeah, and I'm going to attack one of the ones on her.
Okay.
18 plus 8.
Oh, definitely hits.
This is my shit fight undead. Ooh, much better.
This is my shit undead.
4, 5, 6, 7. Shit. 7. Sorry, 9. 14 points of damage. 6 of that is radiant.
14 points plus 6?
Yeah.
14, 6 radiant.
Yes.
As another one goes down. Okay, Vestamon, you make it another 60 feet down the hallway. From behind you outside, you hear a horse whinny.
Do that to Parisi's.
And you hear
Cuz.
it's
graphite.
back outside the crypts.
Does it sound like the wagon's leaving?
You hear a wagon. You hear a wagon outside begin to move.
How far down have I gotten so far?
You're about 60 feet into the passage.
So there's no way I can run back before they get.
You can use your action and your movement to go back to the front if you want.
Well, see, I'm in a dilemma now because if I run back out, it's dark. I won't be able to see who it is anyway. You know, all we can try to do is try to find a horse and wagon in the morning.
Weird.
Okay.
I mean, because there's no need for me to
Okay.
run all the way back.
So what do you want to do?
I'm going to go back toward my friends and see if I can help.
You keeping on dashing another 60 feet, making your way further in.
I mean, you know, it's like I heard we were having a barbecue. I want to go see.
Okay.
I've been banned from those.
Ember. Ember.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna action surge to try to clear the ones away from her.
Okay.
Too late. The DM already moved on.
If it's too late, it's fine.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay.
Mock me, please.
I'm just
for 17.
17 does not hit.
Okay. Second attack.
Damn, 18 to hit.
20 total.
Does hit.
Okay, thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's quite nice.
That's nice.
If I could describe how nice it is, it's very.
Dude.
12 points of damage. 5 of that is regular.
Hella.
So again, as the whip comes up, it does come into contact with it. The center of the ball of light begins and spinning rapidly, and little bits of its steamed shell fly off. It stabilizes itself, glows really brightly, and then becomes invisible.
Invisible.
It doesn't. All of a sudden, the light just extinguishes in the dark.
Okay, I've seen it.
Not in the same way the ones that had previously died, but just kind of.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen it in my turn.
Okay.
Baby, we need them.
Ember.
How many are left?
You see 2 lights at the end. You see 3 lights have been 2 lights extinguished. One didn't extinguish in the same way. It just kind of instead of kind of bursting apart, kind of seemed to just collapse on itself. But there are 2 that you can still see.
And how far away are they from?
From now, they are less than 30 feet away from you.
From her.
From you.
From me.
From you.
So.
They're all the whole rest of the party is about 30 feet down the hall now.
Okay.
After your dash and them backing up.
Well, I think I'm gonna do a level 4 scorching ray and give them each 2 rays per light.
Okay.
So. First one is 14.
14.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
And the second one is 2.
2. So how many rays was that total for?
Yeah.
4.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 5. I'm not using this dice anymore.
Wait a minute. Are you adding your spell modifier to it too? Or are you just your straight roll?
Oh, those are my straight rolls.
Add your spell modifiers to it.
Which one would that be?
It's.
I thought that those were to hit.
Yeah, but
You add your spell modifier to your hit. You don't. It's not just your straight roll.
Been hitting more.
Where's your
What?
your
What?
spell pages?
Not that high. Maybe about like
It's actually your spell modifier plus your proficiency bonus
Okay.
to hit on those.
So, it would be +3 for the proficiency.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What's your charisma bonus?
Oh,
Okay.
4.
Yeah, so 4 plus.
So +7 on all of those.
Oh, +7 on all of them. 2 5s. I think a
14.
14 and a 12.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, no,
So
you're
2
saying-
12s, a 14.
So Ember, in a
Alright.
panic, running down the hall, extends a hand and these scorching rays just suddenly light up the hall around you, just dazzling your eyes as they in impact with the stone and some little bits of stone
Oh,
scattering
they all
amongst you.
miss? Oh.
Yeah, and all 4 of them missed.
Oh.
Even with your awesome modifiers.
Oh.
Awesome fires.
Xenophon.
I'm gonna run another 25 feet.
Okay.
How close am I to those three?
So those three, about 15 feet away.
Great. I'm gonna cast Prayer of Healing on all three of them.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Throw
Neat.
the cheese. Did a good roll. Oh, that good.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, that's not right.
16 points of healing.
For 16 points of healing? Okay.
So that means all three of y'all get 16 points of healing.
All three of who?
You
Prayer of healing is, yeah, is
God.
It's like a chain heal.
Kelly,
Listen to
you
me.
get 16 points of health.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I
I
did it.
appreciate you.
I did it. Not the healing.
just
Misty,
saved
Misty
my
is my man.
I
love
threw
you.
him a band-aid.
You attached it to the interview.
Alright, okay, so, we're,
Oh, and I end my turn. Thank you.
okay, that's it for you? Okay. What, Saltia.
Saltia's gonna test a theory and take out the medallion that Raphael gave her
Okay.
and present it to the undead vampirogis.
Okay, so as you pull out the medallion, they now begin pulsing with light. The two that you can see that were still lit up.
Okay.
That's your that's your action. You have a movement and bonus action now. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna yell at Ember and say, catch! And I'm gonna throw the medallion down at her.
Perform the
Okay,
ancient
so you're gonna
art.
throw the medallion back down the hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to disengage from the one still on me. And
Okay.
to get further down.
Let's go.
So you were gonna keep moving back down towards back
Probably,
down.
I'm gonna
Okay.
try to get behind Xenophon.
Oh, you're a
Oh,
tank.
she's almost about to die.
Yeah, I'm hurt.
She got 16 health
Why do
points.
you,
Yeah, but they hurt.
why do you
Okay.
hand it to her as you ran past?
I'd rather throw it. She's not very
What
smart.
if you hit her in the eye and then she becomes a...
Okay.
Wait, who's
so
not smart?
You
Oh,
artfully disengage, back away, and begin backpedaling down the hall, and you're able to get back just past Ember, and then to Xenophon. So where Xenophon is, you're able to get beside her. We'll just say you're able to get, yeah, yeah. We'll go ahead. Even though you that's an awful lot of action there, showing them the thing and then throwing it and moving it. We'll go ahead and let that happen. So you get to where she's just behind him. That gives us the three that are in the hall. As they all begin to coalesce around Armaeus. And
please.
And the one comes back, the light comes back right in front of Armaeus's face as it moves in, and it with a wet plop hits up against the side of his face, and the other two move to his chest.
Oh shit.
5, 6, for
Pastries.
Everything's going wrong.
I can't spell.
Them undead pastries.
Let's try.
oh 6, 22,
Paint this.
35, 42. Yeah. As all of them, as they begin to flare brilliantly, all three of them latch onto you for a second. You feel a jolt of lightning go through you, and then your life force being drained out as they get 47 points of damage.
Oh god.
Holy shit.
6, 7, 8,
Bye.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Getting
How much?
47.
47.
You can type it in, Phil.
I know.
Okay.
This is more dramatic.
It's taken a long time, Cal. Just tell us when you hit 0. It doesn't sound like 47 clicks.
Apply changes. All right.
Are you unconscious?
Thank you, D&D
He's
Beyond.
fine.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
For now.
Blood. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. So,
This is a weird first date.
Armaeus, what do you want to do?
Pocket.
I'm gonna shoot every single one of these fuckers.
Okay.
Pulling out my first gun, I'm just gonna pop this one that right here up in this direction. I'm assuming there's one right here. I'm just gonna shoot it.
Okay. So, as the
Classic
as you
Armaeus style.
shake it off. You just gonna fire at him point blank. Or
Well,
you
I'm gonna back up first, then fire. Sorry.
Backing up a little bit so it's not with disadvantage. You go make your ranged attack. So and fire and roll to hit on the first one.
17.
17. The flare of your gun, and then it seems to pass by it without harming it.
All right. Bonus action reload. Fire the other gun.
Okay.
For less to hit.
Less. That's actually bad.
Another bright flash from the hall, and you hear as the rounds ricochet off in the distance.
Action surge. Then I'm going to swing my hangman's post wide. Thank you, Cass. I'm gonna swing my hangman's post wide and whack these guys.
Okay, so again, taking your pistols and ditching them and picking up the hangman's post and a mighty swing. Roll to hit.
Oh my god. 9.
As and it reverberates off the walls of the crypts. You hear the echoing as the balls of light dodge out of the way. This massive swing.
Shit. Well, there's nothing else I can do.
Okay.
I'm done.
Mystios.
Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna do another one and try to hit him with my arrow guys again.
Okay.
Damn it, that. So that was a nat 1.
That one.
Oh my god.
No.
Is this how we die?
Maybe
So-
you guys.
Oh, you know, I'm using one of my luck dice. That's where I get to reroll.
Okay. Cool.
Oh my god! That's 2 nat 1s in a row! I'm using another luck dice!
You're not allowed to use that.
No, you can only use one
Okay.
per action.
Damn it!
So as Mistio sees all this going on down the hallway, he fucking knocks an arrow and drops to one knee, and there's a really sharp rock under it as he and reacts as the pain shoots up through his kneecap from landing on the sharp rock, and he's like, "Ah, ping, bing, 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 bing." His arrow shoots around the hall, just narrowly missing himself.
That's
Hold on.
Mystios.
How did I get myself into this one? Tune in next week.
Use that.
Okay, Ivan.
So, question: as the balls of light moved down the hall to attack Armaeus, did they pass by me? Because they were the ones on Salty Island that I was.
They were always within your range from the last attack. So
Okay.
yeah, they wouldn't have moved in or out. They were just moving inside of that area.
Okay, so keeping the whip wrapped around my knuckle, I'm going to turn towards Armaeus and try to free him of these undead pastries.
Okay. Oh, they're all like they move in, they move out. So I mean, they haven't grappled him.
Right,
They're
but
they're hovering in the air near him.
They're in his personal bubble.
Yes.
I would like to attack their personal bubbles.
Okay.
Yeah, for a 19.
With more
19 is actually that is what it takes.
Damn, they're thick.
God,
No,
jeez.
they're tiny.
Oh, right.
They're tiny. That's why they're hard to hit. They're only about that big.
Part of my minimum damage.
How did my arrow not completely obliterate it?
Huh?
5, 6.
So how did my arrow not completely obliterate it?
You get the feeling that these things, because of their magical nature, they're resistant to any non-magical attacks.
That's bullshit.
9 points of damage. 3 of that is radiant.
9. Okay. So that guy. Okay, cool.
Going for number 2 on the same guy.
Okay, on the same guy. Excellent.
Natural 18 plus 6.
Nice. Okay, that definitely hits. These.
Much better. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
My secretary.
That does not mean.
For 17 points of damage.
17.
Yeah. I get an extra 3 because they're undead.
Yes.
So that was 5 radiant.
So again, as you lash out with the whip again on this thing, this little steamed meat-filled pastry, undead pastry, you hit it with the whip once, twice, and in little bits of mashed potato begin weeping out of it as the light disappears again.
Shit. I forgot my fucking. Okay, I forgot something. That's the end of my turn.
Okay.
I will try to put myself in between Armaeus and the pastries.
Okay.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Blood.
Our man,
Okay.
you want pastry.
Wait. We have your party's wizard again bashes another 60 feet down the hall, hearing gunshots ring out and all this clamor. Getting closer, you get to the end where they made the right turn. Ember, you can see 2 of these lights now at the far end of the hall.
Well, because the last attack didn't work, she's just gonna turn around and run.
Okay. So, Ember, feeling a little less than secure at this, and for reasons unknown, decides to not for once in her life, not throwing caution to the wind, but embracing caution in the most rational way she can think of. Turns and gets the fuck out. Yeets the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
Fuck out.
Xenophon, you are now within 15 feet of these delicious-looking, life-sucking
I'm-
Italian pastries. What would you like to do?
I want to cast Sacred Flame on the closest one to me.
Okay. Okay. And what do you do?
They have to make a succeed a dexterity save or take 1d8 radiant damage.
Okay. What's your
Thank you.
what's your spellcasting modifier? Or what's your spellcasting? What's the save on that?
13.
13 on the 2 that you can see. 1 does. Okay, okay, roll your damage.
3.
3 damage.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, so the one that had been engaged with Ivan that he just all of a sudden as the sacred flame burst forth, one of them, the flame, it's the light. Oh, wait a minute. No, that one disappeared. Okay. So one of them, as the sacred flame hits it, it's the edges of it begin to get nice and crispy, and the one further down the hall, the flames seem to lick off the light and then reflect away. Takes a little bit of damage, but not as bad as the other. Salty Eye, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna use my short bow on the one that I can see.
Okay. All right. That's going to be the one hovering in the furthest down the hall. So you turn to face away from the party a little bit and roll to hit, and it's
19.
19 just hits. Okay. And your damage?
That is 4 plus 1 piercing.
4 plus 1 piercing from a non-magical weapon. So that takes that to 3. But it is currently engaged with someone else. So do your sneak damage.
So add 4
4d6
4
for you. Yes.
Okay. 3,
12,
12,
15.
15.
15.
Very nice. She really did it.
Seriously,
So-
sneak attack all the time.
Why don't you do better
having had these things just drain so much life out of you recently, and you're confused. In your confusion and fear, you find a bit of resolve. Pull your arrow, and it's this one that had just been lightly fried around the edges by Xenophon. That's even though your attack is not magical. It being caught off guard because it was engaged with someone else is just enough to where it pierces the heart of it, and meat and potatoes splatter across the ceiling as your arrow clatters off down the hallway.
This place is going to smell like shit in a couple of days.
Eat
Well,
it.
it is a crypt.
We could just eat the pierogies.
I'm done.
Oh shit.
The one that was a little crispier, having been hit by the sacred flame, comes down from the ceiling, and the two of them move. Just one appears, the light goes into the wall. And disappears from the room.
Good riddance.
Goodbye.
See ya. We all need you.
Wait, the meat and potatoes all
Disappear.
disappeared into the brick.
Yes,
Hey, okay, what are the walls of the crypts like?
there's stone walls.
Okay, I want to make sure they're not like standing tombs.
Mm.
I thought there's gonna be like some spiritual takeover sort of shit going on.
Is there like
Oh no, you're in a crypt. There's stone, but this whole way running down this hall, you've passed doorway after doorway after doorway.
What's the
Ah,
closest
it's
door to
just-
the wall
it's-
that they disappeared through?
Is it possible for them to possess a body?
That's what I've been thinking. That's what my theory was, is that they're draining the life force out of us, they kill us and take over our bodies and turn us into calzones.
If that is the case, we're going to be okay. This is literally the thing I was made to do.
You ain't doing a good job.
I don't want
How many have you killed?
More than you.
How many of us are dead? That's a better question.
Zach,
Thank
can I see a door that is close to the wall that they went through?
Yeah. Again, out of initiative for now. Out of initiative for now. Vestamon finishes racing down the hallway as you guys begin taking guarded positions. You begin looking
Oh, Vestamon, you're back.
near. Vestamon enters, comes down the hallway. You begin looking. There is a door not 15 feet away from where you are. A large, heavy stone door in this crypt.
Does it have a name plaque?
It does.
What's the name plaque?
Can I check and see since the wagon rode away? I heard the wagon riding away. There has to be another exit out of this crypt. So I need to tell them so we can investigate to see if there's another stairway or another doorway leading out to the outside. The
You are
wagon rode away while I was entering the building. I
Right.
couldn't run back, so there has to be another way out of this building.
all right.
Because I was outside the whole time and saw no one come out of that door that you went into. So they had to have come out.
If the wagon has left while we were inside, we didn't see any people running past us. Only the fucking mini
But maybe
calzone shits.
whoever sent these things to attack you, maybe that was their diversion so they could get away.
It's possible.
Or maybe they just dwell here. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
No, I'm just saying that.
We should follow up on Ember's query on if they can possess things.
Yes,
Can we take a moment and the wall where the one went in? Is there a door next to it? Like anywhere next to?
That's actually what Salty I was just asking. She said there is a door about 10 feet away,
Yeah,
10, 15 feet away, and there is a plaque on the door. There is a plaque,
There's a fuck me club?
a brass plaque
What?
mounted on
What am I
stone
doing?
on the door, on the stone door. Says
Sweet.
or my CL.
What?
Hey guys, the Mycel door crypt thing's right there. We should probably the things went in there.
I'm gonna take this
You're
time
right
to reload both my guns.
Okay.
What does it say on the
Or my CL.
Marcial? I said.
The same way as Raphael's last name.
I'm now less
Or
than 100
Mycel.
shots in my gun, by the way.
Huh?
I now have less than 100 shots.
Oh no.
I know. It's bad.
I gave you a shitload. How do you?
Dude,
well, yeah. I guess
that
that's
adds
fine.
up, man. It's been a
That's true.
while.
I'm gonna take a moment and with the bottom of my cloak, I'm gonna get the potato and meat off my whip again.
Okay.
But
Meat and potato.
Mistios, will you check the door? Right here, the Ermasil.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna yell, "Ember, come back!" down the hall.
Can I morph into a rat and eat the
Do you come
scraps
back?
off the edge of the road?
I'll think about it.
If
I
you
weigh
want
my
to, you can
options.
just have it. You don't have
You
to.
have the
try to-
amulet, the
Tastes
medallion.
better
Yeah,
if I was a
that's
rat.
kind of why I ran. Didn't want them all
Yeah.
to suddenly get around me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to pick that lock.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if it just opens. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
First, I'm gonna shake the door handle, see if it opens.
So as you reach up and grab the, and insert your hand into the carved handhold of the stone, and you hear the stone grinding against the floor, and the door just does come right open.
Man, I'm glad I did that.
A D&D group's biggest challenge. An
Doors.
already unlocked door.
Are you going to walk in?
I guess I shall.
All right. I will walk in next to him.
Okay, as you both
Dark's vision go!
as you
What do you see?
as you step in there, you step into a large room. It's not very deep, only about 10 feet deep before you get to the other side, but there are large brass doors that appear to be several of them. There's where there's carved out spots into the walls where
Different crypts.
bodies would be put from the crypts, and there's two that look like they're freshly opened.
Hey, we got 2 open body cases.
Are there bodies in there? I look inside.
I'm looking for pastries.
There bodies.
There does not appear to be
Crazy.
any bodies in
I want
those.
to go to the 2
Are
that
there
are
names? Are
closed.
there names on these kiosks that say who they are?
Sunglass Hut.
Dead body hut.
Do I smell anything in particular after you finish it?
Smells like
You
dead.
know, on the little
On the ones that are open, Willa and Anton are the names on there.
Willa and Anton.
Yep.
Those are the ones the bodies are missing.
Yes.
And the ones that are closed.
Because the first one was somewhere lost in thin
No, do I smell anything?
True story.
What?
As you're
April
standing in
Fools.
the room,
True story.
and
I
you
lost
realize
my
that
engagement
you're
ring.
in the crypt
It's
that
been
you're in.
hard
There's
on April
it
Fool's
looks
Day.
as if there's either 2
They were
that are
telling me I'm no
awaiting
longer engaged.
fresh burial, or something was just taken from them. All of a sudden, the smell of meat and potatoes hits your nose
Damn it.
as the 2 coalesce back around the back of Salty Eye's neck.
Damn it.
Or
The same 2 things.
It's because you're so
for
salty.
24 points of damage as all of a sudden a light bursts brilliant around each side of you as they come in, and the big shocking hits you again as they drain your life force and pull away from you one more time.
Can I do uncanny dodge for that?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna do uncanny dodge.
Now, you know, this is why I was weighing my options.
Yeah.
This is why she's actually still running. She didn't listen to us.
Okay.
I'm going to attack it.
Okay.
If
Actually,
I can.
Actually, because we're going to use the
Initiative from
The initiative we had before.
Got it.
Salty Eye.
I'm gonna shoot one with my short bow.
Okay, so you're gonna have to move now. Move back. And in these close quarters, you can't move back far enough to make a ranged attack. So you're going to have to make that attack with disadvantage in close quarters. So make that attack. Try to use your bow with disadvantage because you are all packed inside of this small crypt now.
That is 17.
17.
I never came in.
Just narrowly miss Ivan as you miss this thing as you're trying to. Okay. Armaeus.
Hey!
Hey.
These
Lay it on me.
things have these
Tell me how
things.
they kill me.
Huh?
He said, tell me how they kill me.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually,
They go
Nope.
into your butt.
Sweet.
Explode.
the vampire rogues are up next.
But there's a wet.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go get.
As they move from you toward, because you had just drawn a weapon on them, they move towards Armaeus, and they both begin to swoop in on him. But having seen what they're capable of, he quickly ducks out of the way as they fly over his head and miss their attacks.
Thank God. Sick of them hurting me.
And now Armaeus.
Sweet. I'm gonna see that one just went right over my head, and I'm gonna look up. I'm just gonna bam.
Okay, roll
Bang,
to
bang.
hit. Roll to hit with disadvantage.
Close quarters.
Close quarters.
Yeah,
There's
you-
no the
use
range.
your
That's
gun
ranged
and
attacks. Ranged attacks with it. There's nowhere to move in here to
19 or
Doesn't
better.
hit.
huh?
Does not hit.
Okay. Again, the deafening roar in these close quarters.
Bonus action reload.
Okay.
Move back.
I'm gonna try to back out into the hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
shoot again.
firing into the room.
Can I still see it?
What about
Huh? We haven't. I have him in initiative between Ivan and Ember.
Okay.
Another thing we get missed. Can't see if I
Okay.
get
So you move back into the hallway.
Yeah.
We need to have rules for ricocheting in tight areas.
Yeah, because it could hit one of us, you know.
I'll do what I gotta do.
If you freaking
Why don't you
get
just throw your
salty,
gun at it? I mean, it'd be safer than trying to shoot. And the ricochet hit one of us.
I've almost shot myself with one of those things.
Just a quick question.
We
Jack.
know.
When they attack me, does it activate my parrot?
All right. I'm gonna expend a grip point to use Deadeye Shot, so I gain an advantage on
Okay.
this roll.
So does that mean it's normal since you already had disadvantage?
Well,
Yeah, it's all
I backed up because so I wouldn't be
Okay.
within 5 feet.
Deadeye is ready. Deadeye ready. Go for
Okay.
it.
Go for it. Make your turn.
First one's good. Second one's better by 1. I got 23 to hit.
Okay.
Sweet. Roll this damage. Got a 1. Plus 4, 5 damage.
For 5 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ivan.
Again, whip coiled around the face.
Oh wait, no, sorry, Mistios.
It's okay. I'm going to run into the hallway.
Okay.
We're all running out.
Fuck that!
Backing out into the hallway to the roar of Armaeus's guns. No deterrent for you. You back up right next to him.
You need to shut that thing up!
I'm trying to see.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to shoot it with an arrow.
Okay. Do your thing.
Era.
With an arrow!
With an air.
Ha! For a 26 to hit.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, no.
That's impressive.
19
boy.
plus 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
Okay. I did say I was in sneaky stance. For 9 points of damage.
9 points halved.
That's a lot of damage.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go and be like, sneak.
Um,
I'll do that.
Okay. Yes.
Can I already have been in sneak?
Huh?
Can I have already been in sneak? No. Dang it. Sure, I can't just add a real quick 4d6 to
You did a little
that.
much there, bud. Sorry.
Now, Ivan.
I will follow up the attack that he just laid.
Whip it.
I'm going to attack him with what he said.
Okay. So the whip not activated, or it's still activated from last time.
Yeah, the Crimson Right doesn't extinguish until I tell it to.
Okay.
So it's still up. For 21.
21 hits.
21.
Do that, David.
I'm gonna do the Sam Regal. That's cock.
I like cock.
Oh, I see why he does that now. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That was horrible.
18, 19 points of damage.
19.
6 of that being radiant.
Damn. Son.
So again, the whip hits one of the balls of light, and the meaty pastry in the center of it, and again, it's somewhat tattered. Its light begins pulsing as it moves towards you.
I'm hitting it again.
Okay.
For the shit of it, I'm going to yell out as I attack. If you're trying to communicate, find another way. And not good. Yeah, no, doesn't hit.
Oh. Okay. Vestamon, what do you want to do?
Is it up in the air? Where
There are 2 of them now that are currently hovering, like as your
How
party,
close
because
are
your
they?
party comes spilling out the
How close
door.
are they to me when we're in this room, and they're pretty close, right?
They're really close. Yeah.
Okay, I want to grab one, and as I grab it, I want to morph into a giant rat and get it down on the floor and rip it apart.
Okay, that's okay, that's a grapple action and to polymorph verbal semantic, and you would have to be having, so it's gonna, if you're gonna, you can.
Hey, I'm a wizard. Why can't I do that?
Huh? Because the way the game mechanics work is we're not requiring material components, so you have to be holding your staff to polymorph, and then your polymorph is an entire action, and then you have movement and bonus action after that.
Okay, never mind. Then I'm not gonna do none of that, because if it's gonna take all of that, I'm just gonna try to hit it with my staff and knock it down.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I know to do.
Outstanding. Okay. That actually, okay, roll a hit.
12.
12? No.
Missed it.
Yeah. No. A quick hit and a quick swing, and it kind of whiffs by it. Ember, you never came back, did you? Or did you?
No, not really.
Xenophon.
But I can still run down into the area, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you went back.
Because that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Armaeus did shout, Ember, come back.
No, I did.
Oh, that's right, you did, sorry.
Wow,
I
you're
mean,
just
I'll
not
take
paying
credit
attention
for it.
to all.
And I did
right?
say I was
We're
weighing
salty.
my options, so how far was I away at that
I mean,
point?
you had only moved. You'd only moved 60 feet away before they
Okay.
before they
Well-
ended that round.
And knowing that Salty
I
Eyes
mean,
had
you could have if he called you back before everything was over, you could have wandered back, because there was a couple of minutes where they opened it up and went into the tomb. So if you have decided that you would have come back, then yes, you're back.
I probably would still have not walked in there.
Okay, so you're just outside of the crypt itself,
But,
and you see and you hear it erupt into all this
Gunshots.
loud. People are like, it's back, and they begin spilling out of the hall as Armaeus' guns begin roaring.
Yeah, knowing that Salty Eyes had taken considerable damage, I'm going to use Healing Word on her.
Okay. Excellent.
So, the spellcasting modifier would be my proficiency plus my.
All you have,
charisma, right?
I mean, that's one where you don't have to
No,
roll
it says
to cast
it says I have to add it.
Okay. Oh, to your dice roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, see, I do it in the second slot. So that would be 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Cool.
Did you?
Now, Xenophon, what are you doing? Did you enter the crypt with everybody, right? During this investigation? Okay, so they are still shit, you and Salty Eye are the only ones in there right now.
Oh.
So, along with the 2 remaining.
I'm gonna take out my magical.
Huh?
I'm still in there too, right? Because I mean, I got into melee combat. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't move out?
I didn't.
Okay, so the 3 of you are in this tight quarters area.
I'll shoot in there again.
I'm gonna take
Better
out
hope
my
I don't miss.
magical diamond axe, and I'm gonna hit the closest. I'm gonna try to hit the closest one.
Okay.
22.
22. Okay, that definitely hits.
13 damage.
13 damage?
Damn.
So, as the black axe, you raise it up, and the ball of light that's throbbing weakly, the diamonds on the end of the axe glittering with this light, and you, it just pins it up against the brass of one of the crypts, and and the light from it kind of explodes as the pasta shell splits in half and meat and potatoes splatter on the wall.
And then, as my bonus action, I want to cast Mass Healing Word on those 3 again.
Okay.
I'm good. I don't need it.
On those 2 again. God, whatever.
I did it.
Don't irritate the dwarf.
I just didn't know if like somebody else needed to heal.
Nobody else has been in there.
Okay. I'll
Do
take
you
it.
want it or not?
I'll take it.
For
Thank
6 points of healing.
Please and thank you.
Okay. Okay. Top of the order. There's one left that's floating. That's floating fairly near you.
Okay.
Just smack it.
It's light growing more intense.
I'll revive
The
you.
light,
Just eat
the sphere of light around it.
I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna go up to it,
You
grab
grapple
it,
it?
and try and eat it.
Okay.
Thank you for answering my question.
Make your grapple attack.
We know we can eat these things to destroy them.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh shit! He did not plan for this.
I think you did.
As Salty Eye reaches out and grabs this thing, it feels soft and spongy in your hands, and you and bite down. Meat and potatoes shoot into your mouth and out of your fingers as the light begins to brilliantly. You can feel it bathing over your face. There's a tingling in the tips of your teeth. As you'd feel it's trying to fight back. It's shocking if you could feel a surge of your life energy going forward and then coming back and then pulling at you again as and swallow it much in the same fashion as you swallowed the sausages earlier.
Everybody got the ball they wanted here.
Make a Constitution save.
Uh-oh.
That is a 15.
As you a loud belch and a wisp of smoke comes out of her mouth.
Was it delicious?
It was actually incredibly tasty. Yes, it was a finely steamed. The pasta was just
Is that
delicious.
one of the ones I toasted too?
Yes, it was
You're
lightly
welcome.
toasted around. It was slightly overdone around the edges, but otherwise,
Maybe I should
it
be
was a
chef.
thing. It was actually, it was almost like an undead,
Call that
a work of undead, delicious art.
I'm gonna look at Ivan. Do you sense anything?
Am I evil?
I'll take a second.
Nope. It seems as if there's a sense of a fading undead somewhere in Salty Eye's belly.
Just for shits and giggles, while we're at it, if I kind of take a glance at the whip, it's radiant, so I guess it's glowing a bit.
But it's because of the undead sense, as there's that sort of pulsating energy that you feel is gone.
Okay. I think we're good for a moment. Is everyone okay? Anybody severely hurt?
I'm alright now. Those things hurt like a bitch, but
Okay.
they were tasty.
Yeah, you do have it's what seems to be like a slight bit of a tummy ache in the after effects of this. It's like it's slightly unsettled. The same sort of feeling you used to get when you started drinking in your preteen years. When you would drink too much when you were much younger.
I might have a hangover. Who knows?
Sweet.
An undead hangover.
She's gonna be addicted.
Good.
Do I see anything like any jewelry or metal from the pierogies that we destroyed inside? Anything that would...
There are little spatters of meat, potatoes, and pasta shell, steamed pasta shell, but other than that, no. It doesn't seem as though that they could carry any possessions or anything like that. It was more just a stuffed meat and potato stuffed dumpling with the ability to drain life. There, and you're looking around. Some of the meat and potatoes on the floor. You scoop it up. The meat has a very, very different texture than you've ever tasted before. Or anything that you've ever seen. It's very strange.
Does it look like human flesh?
That'd be tight.
Does it look like human? Like meat?
You
It
can
tastes like human?
make a medicine check.
Medicine. Oh, go on.
I think that's your field, man.
18.
Mr.
18?
Oh.
It doesn't look like any animal that you've ever eaten before.
What?
It's safe to assume from your knowledge of what you've witnessed here in this tomb and what you've heard about with bodies being stolen, that these undead things, these vampirogis, were in fact constructed with the flesh of the living, the flesh of humans.
I'm gonna make myself throw up.
Okay, you stick your finger down your throat.
I'm gonna ready an
Make a con save.
I want to ready an action to attack.
Or just actually a general constitution check, not a con save.
I'm ready in case that thing comes back to life.
That's 12.
12? Okay, yeah. You failed. You just and you vomit all over, and the entire contents of your stomach come up.
Mostly alcohol.
And it's
You need a better diet.
what smelled so good going down is absolutely horrible coming back up as she splatters the hallway.
I'm just gonna scream out, "That's not animal!"
Can
What
I?
is it?
A little bit of Kuru never hurt anyone.
I would like to fact check the meat
Okay.
substance.
Just take a dagger and poke at it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I love
What, you
her
can't tell
reaction.
what vomit
Oh my
is?
god.
10.
10. Is this your okay for your medicine check? Going through it, this has a very, very strange texture. You can see the herbs that are in there. You can see the grains of salt that were used to cook. But there's, this is, you can't correctly identify it, but you can tell what it's not. It's not beef. It's not pork. It's definitely not chicken.
It's the other white meat.
Don't eat that. It's mystery meat.
Why'd you tell me to eat that?
Oh, why'd you listen to me?
Taking a
I thought
second
it
to
was a
look
good
at
idea.
where the crypts are. How high off the ground are they?
Oh, there's one that's like at 3 feet and one that's like at 5 feet. So there's
ones that are empty.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to take a moment, and if somebody actually, I'll spark a torch real quick so I can see.
Okay, so taking a second to grab one out of your pack, a torch and a tinderbox. What had been, you'd been relying on the people in your party with dark vision, and then relying on, the light from the fight and the light from the glow of these creatures. It comes to life, the orange and yellows of your torch, and you can see very clearly now.
The ring is gone.
I want to look in the bottom one that's empty and look for anything left behind, any marks of tools or anything on the inside of the coffin or anything like that.
No, there's no coffin. It's just like a brass lid. What's like there is like there's a pillow and blankets, and there's like a hollow set in.
Oh, it's like an open crypt.
Yeah, like an open crypt.
Oh,
so
cool.
so with just like a brass door that goes down over it.
Okay. I still want to inspect that area the body would have been in for any sign.
Okay,
of...
go ahead and make your investigation check for the area.
Are you looking for the Shroud of
15?
Turin?
15. Okay, it looks as though there were bodies in here recently. The pillows have indentions in them. There's on the one that's on the top. There's stains of where they would look like body fluids had come out. There are some flowers that look like they've probably been in there for a month or so, but it looks like bodies have been removed.
Xenophon, can you look on the one on the top? And
You're gonna ask me, the shortest member of your party,
I've got you.
to look on the top?
I've got you. And very similar to what I did for Armaeus in the prison, I'm going to grab her by the waist and pick her up and kind of hoist her thick ass up into the top one.
500 pounds of me.
So she can see.
She's thick.
Big bitch.
What am I looking for now?
This is like you picking up, Armaeus to look out the window. That was
Yeah.
That was shorter than me.
Well, but she's tiny.
Okay. So
Put her in the crypt. Close the gate.
so lift you up, and she's. And,
Just
and what is
look for anything not right, anything that's out of place. You would know.
You would know.
Yeah, you dead lover. I don't know that one.
I'm not nameless.
It's not necrophilia if they're alive.
Yeah, it's called sex.
Check maybe.
I'm sorry.
What kind of check?
Investigation.
11.
11. This one seems to be in pretty much the same condition as the one below. It looks as if there was a body in here. There's again nothing else remarkable. It's flowers that have been pushed to the side. There's some small piles off to the back side of it, which look to be little bits of spices. There's some turmeric and a small pile of like wilted basil leaves, and some dried pepper in the back of it.
Does it look like, from what I can tell, does it look like they did it respectfully, like getting the bodies out, or did they just kind of just throw everything around?
Maybe viewed as they're the people that have been checking this out. It looks as if, anything of value in here, as you're investigating these, anything of value has been taken along with the bodies.
I think we're approaching this the wrong way. Don't we have a tracker among us?
Okay.
Like someone
What were you
that...
wanting to ask?
Okay, I want to ask you, this is a timeout. A few minutes ago, when she was garfing up that thing, you said it was from a live person. Now we're looking in the crypt for a dead.
I didn't say it was from a live person.
Yes, you did. You said it was like, yeah, that's what I want to clarify. Is it from a dead person or a live person?
I just said it was from meat that couldn't be identified.
No. Okay, anyway.
Okay, well, if
Well, I wouldn't have asked the question if I didn't hear it that way.
okay, well, and then in that case, then And for clarification, if it does come up again, it was for meat that you couldn't identify. Seeing what you've seen here of these tombs and what is going on, and you can identify that it isn't that it's a meat that you have never seen before, then you can assume that you assume that it is probably human.
Can we investigate further down the hall to see if there's any place where these bodies could have been dissected and for the parts to be used?
Absolutely.
Like any kind of
yes,
table where they could operate it on them?
You can do whatever you want.
Yes, I'd like to check further down the hall to see if there's any place, because there'd be blood and guts and all that crap on the floor where they dissected these people, taking parts off of them.
One.
I think we're gonna have to eat a live human to know for sure.
I want someone that's had some experience before, someone that's aged a little bit, to compare it to the meat.
Look, I'm looking over the only two humans in our group,
I'm not human.
and that guy.
Okay,
Eat him.
I agree
gonna
that
be
that's
jerky.
I agree that that's a very good idea. There's one last thing I want to look, and Xenophon, you would help me with this. The bodies that are left in there. I just quickly want to, if they're wrapped or anything, I want to quickly open them up and just give them a quick once over. I'm looking for, if any of them are missing hearts, fingers, or if they seem to have been opened for the purpose of removing organs.
Okay.
Well, I just want you to know.
I know in the yeah, I'm talking about very specific. Like those wounds were done.
Okay, so
It would have been
as you prepare, as you begin to go and lift and try and start opening other crypts, and unsealing them, Vestamon begins wandering off down the hall, and he's looking for you. Make your way towards the end, and make your investigation check. 11. As you make your way down to the end, there's the Urmiciel crypt is the last one on the right, and you make your way to the end of the hallway. It appears as if there's a stone wall. It looks as if there's a dead end, the stone across the top, and a small jagged line running through the stone up to your right. Irregular shapes. It's almost as if the stone at the top left is sticking out a little bit further than the rest of the rocks. At the end of the hallway where you are.
Oh, where I am.
Yes, that's what you were seeing as you walk to the end of the hallway with holding your staff up.
Can I take my staff and push on it to see if it moves?
Reach up, you're holding your staff aloft with the light emanating from the end of it as your light cantrip is in the way, and you're looking around the edges of the cracks, and there's again one stone that's a little further out than the rest of them, up way in the top corner, and you push on it, and the entire stone wall and moves about 16 inches.
Is it another room, or is it outside, or what?
You haven't.
I mean, can
Okay, and then you.
If I hold my light out, can I see? I can see.
You put your light in the crack and begin looking around. You see more stone on the other side.
A secret room, guys.
Alright.
Let's go check it out.
Indeed.
Before they go check it out, I'm gonna relook at some of the food splatter floating around. Do I get the sense that these were put together the same way as the golems were?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, that would be 7.
There's so little of the meat and so little of that it's like you know, applying what knowledge you do know of these sort of things. It's just too little to go on for you to know.
Okay. They followed.
Okay. So, Vestamon, finding this secret room or finding this hidden wall or this he puts his hand up, gives it a push, and the wall begins grinding backwards. As one of the things opened, and you take one of the bodies you're looking at, and with the linen draped over it, you take the linen coverings off from the top of it and begin inspecting the body. His hand reaches up and grabs your wrist, and that's what we're going to call it today.
I had a feeling.
Teabag.
Copyright.
Like, why are you grabbing my wrist? And just start teabagging.
What?
Teabag it.
No, see, if I were a monk, it would be one of these things where if I'm doing it and it grabs me, and you're just like,
Bitch, what are you doing? Unhand me, fool.
literally.
I didn't want that.
Was there flesh on the body? Can I ask that? Or like is this bones doing it?
There's bones.
Yeah, this looks like this is a much older body.
Okay.
It's
At
quite
least 3
decrepit.
bones.
Okay. Cool.
What
At least 3 bones.
Huh?
Wouldn't his whip activate if it was alive? If it was undead?
No, the whip stays activated until I dismiss it.
But doesn't it doesn't it glow when there's undead?
No,
Or-
I have a sense from working around them that there's the presence of an active one, and if it's dormant, then there's nothing.
Oh, okay.
There's
What
nothing.
if it gets awakened
Was
by
this
some
was
dude
this inside that
rummaging
room?
through?
No, that was your move. You moved off away from the group.
Oh,
You were
okay.
just about to open. You were just about to open the secret door while they were back and still in the crypt.
And something in the crypt grabbed his hand. One of the dead bodies.
Something in the crypt.
Something in the crypt grabbed his hand.
And we gonna fuck it up next week.
Dragon Ball Z.
You hope. Said you hope.
No, we gonna fuck it up.
No short rest for you.
No shot.
Alright.
You know what? That's fine. I got healed. By my
All the
bitches.
way? You get held all the way?
Huh?
Only you
got
know.
healed a bunch.
I know, but I also got hurt 40.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I only gave him like
You're right.
2 healing.
I got you.
Plus 14.
We're gonna throw the host over
You
too.
people.
What do you mean by you people?
You people.
We're gonna throw the host over to Batty.
I worked hard on that pun. I can't believe nobody got vampirogi. I actually, though, I gotta give myself credit. That's pretty goddamn clever.
That was pretty awesome.
Oh, hey, if there's anybody still watching, thanks for coming out and sticking around. We get a little silly here every Sunday.
We got dust.
Right around 8:15, 8:30. So we run a little bit behind tonight because of Easter. Thanks so much.
Shit.
It's always good to see everybody every Sunday.
Listen.
Make sure, okay, as we wrap up this Easter Sunday, make sure, please keep in mind as you go out this week, sin a lot because that is what Jesus died for. So, enjoy yourselves. You guys have a great,
You've earned
great
it.
fucking week. Jesus died for you. So
Do drugs.
Hey, we're gonna host Batty. He's playing Escape from Tarkov, but he DMs a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. He's a cool guy.
and real quick, who is Cass here? I want to say hey to Cassian.
Sup, bro?
Thank you for sticking around and coming out and hanging out with us so many times. You're an awesome cat. We love you. Everybody else, have a great night and a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Stop the stream.
It's melty. I need an M&M. This is gonna melt in my hand.
Stop the stream.
Thank you.